What's up guys, this is your favorite fanfic YouTuber, the Fanfic Majesty, and welcome to another amazing video. You can follow me on Patreon for exclusive stories. 3MJ Chapter 52. Garp retreats, asking for flowers, collections, comments. Before the fist came, Levi's hair and clothes were blown by the wind. Levi felt that Garp's punch was like a level 12 typhoon. Levi felt that Garp's boxing skills had reached a state of returning to his original nature. To put it more advanced, Garp's boxing has transcended the realm of martial arts and reached the realm of Tao. Garp's fist has reached in front of Levi. Levi did not fight Garp this time. He used Fishman Jiu-Jitsu to remove 3 layers of force from Garp's fist. Boy, do you have to think about how to counterattack every time you strike? Garp laughed and said, I want to see how many punches you can take from me. Garp's fists were getting faster and faster, and Levi no longer had time to think about how to attack. He could only rely on instinct to strike. Gradually, he began to forget the moves, and his fists became more and more plain and simple. The look of amazement in Garp's eyes flashed away. He realized this state after middle age. I really don't know how Levi's brain grew, but he realized the highest state of boxing at this age. So that's it. I made the same mistake as Baby 5. The moves are to serve others. I practiced the moves too much, but ignored the fundamentals. Levi had a realization in his heart, and then his eyes became brighter and brighter, and his aura became stronger and stronger. Thank you, Vice Admiral Garp. Levi politely thanked Vice Admiral Garp. When Levi fell into a state of enlightenment similar to that in novels, Garp not only did not take advantage of the opportunity to attack, but instead kept feeding Levi tricks, making Levi progress faster. It doesn't matter, I'm very happy to see the progress of my juniors, although you will be impelled down by me soon, Garp laughed. Although Garp looks very out of place, I have to admit that Vice Admiral Garp is a man with a very charming personality. It is precisely because of this that he can become a marine hero. All heroes are shining in him. Are you convinced of me, Vice Admiral Garp? Levi asked. Of course, my Iron Fist is not a vegetarian. Garp raised his fist at Levi, and then they fought together again. Now Levi can finally compete with Garp. The two fought together, and the whole mountain was smashed by them. The gravel was flying everywhere. Garp's armament hockey is the strongest Levi has ever seen. Levi can't see Garp using armament hockey, but when their fists and feet collide, Levi can see a trace of Garp's armament hockey from where they are fighting. The two fought until they went crazy. This was Levi's most exciting battle, abandoning swordsmanship, devil fruit, and all cumbersome moves. It was a pure fist and kick duel. As they fought, the entire mountain continued to roar, gravel flew everywhere, and the entire mountain continued to lower at a speed visible to the naked eye. In the blink of an eye, the entire mountain of Redline was flattened by the two of them with their fists. Is this the strength of Boss Levi? It's really scary, Sugar exclaimed while lying on the window. Monet smiled and touched her head. Baby 5 holds a machine gun pointed at the door, and she is wary of Marines suddenly bursting in from the door. Breed was so frightened that he squatted on the ground holding his head and trembling constantly. As an East Blue person, he knew the terror of Garp. The pirates of East Blue were always in fear of being dominated by Garp. Breed didn't expect that he had left East Blue, but he still hadn't escaped Garp's clutches. Tetsolo stood on the deck board. He originally thought there would be a fierce battle, but he didn't expect that he would be a substitute throughout. 200 million Fords, Thor. Amidst the brilliant thunder, a majestic figure made entirely of thunder and lightning appeared on Marine's warship. After a burst of lightning flashed, the 5 vice admirals fell to the ground in darkness, leaving only Enel standing proudly on the warship holding a golden stick. 5 vice admirals have been killed by Enel, and now only the main general Garp is still fighting with Levi. Garp also discovered that the current situation was unfavorable to him. Neither he nor Sengoku had expected that Levi would have Enel as a strong support on the ship. The original 5 vice admirals were to deal with Tezolo. Another Logia demon fruit power, and the most powerful thunder and lightning in Logia, another monster is born. Garp can naturally see Enel's potential. This guy is a being who is as talented as Admiral. He is a sea monster. A monster among thieves. Levi, how about we just give up? Garp looked at Levi with a serious face. He knew that Levi was a smart man. Once Garp was ready to fight to the death, he couldn't bear the consequences. Okay, since you have given me some guidance today, we'll stop here, Levi said to Garp. Afterwards, Garp returned to East Blue with a fleet of defeated troops to rest and recuperate. Levi fought Garp the next day, and the news of Garp's defeat made the headlines in the newspapers, shocking the world. Sorry, this chapter is a bit late. The third update is here. There are still 3 more updates, so please wait. Thanks to 198 friends for the tip. Finally, please send me flowers, evaluation votes, rewards, and monthly votes. Chapter 53 to 2 billion bounty, please give me flowers, collections and comments. These unscrupulous reporters distort facts and make up nonsense. Sengoku smashed things in Marineford again. Sengoku used to be a very good-tempered person. Since Levi escaped from Mariejois, Sengoku has been receiving bad news every 3 days. As a result, Sengoku's hair has turned half gray, and now he relies on hair dye to maintain it. Announcement of new bounties for Levi and his group. Levi's bounty is 2 billion belly, Enel's bounty is 500 million berry, and Tezuro's bounty is 100 million berry. After Sengoku finished announcing the order, he lowered his head tiredly. Garp is a flag of Marine in the spiritual belief of all Marines. Many righteous young people became Marines because they heard about Garp's deeds. Garp cannot be defeated. This report is too vicious. It is an attempt by people with ulterior motives to undermine Marines' military morale. Who did this? Pirates shouldn't have such a mind. Could it be the Revolutionary Army? Various speculations flashed through Sengoku's mind. No matter how you speculate now, it will be of no use. Only by increasing Marines' power can we truly avoid this chaos. After that, Sengoku worked hard to formulate a new recruitment plan. The news that Levi's bounty rose to 2 billion spread throughout the New World like a gust of wind. Coupled with the fact that Levi defeated Garp that was reported some time ago, the meaning behind this incident is extremely astonishing. Although Garp is a Marine Vice Admiral, all pirates know how terrifying Garp is. Garp definitely has the strength of an admiral. Levi defeated Garp, which shows from the side that Levi has admiral-level combat power. In the world of pirates, the strong are respected, and the birth of a new emperor-level warrior means that a new turmoil will arise in the world of pirates. Now countless pirates are eagerly waiting for Levi to recruit crew members. As soon as Levi's recruitment order is issued, countless pirates will flock to seek refuge. Levi will be my biggest opponent in the new Four Emperors War. It seems that I will speed up the pace of conquering Kaido. Moria thought of this, and said to his subordinates who were still cleaning the battlefield. Young men, quickly clean up the battlefield. We are going to compete with Kaido for the position of Four Emperors. Is it finally going to start? Brother, we have all been waiting for this day. Moria's younger brothers all started to cheer. They had wasted too much time on the new route. Now their eldest brother finally made up his mind to fight against Kaido. After they defeated Kaido, they would become the new Four Emperors. Looking at the excited people in front of him, Moria felt a little bit of sadness in his heart. These brothers were brought out from his hometown. He knew that there were many bones on the road of Four Emperors, and he didn't know how many brothers would die after the battle with Kaido. Unlike Moria's entanglement, Shanks has been invincible since he came to the Grand Line and came to the Saboti archipelago. All the pirates on the route he sailed were killed by him. In the end, only the Red Hair Pirates passed through the channel that Shanks sailed, and the rest of the pirates became part of the Red Hair Pirates' background. That's amazing, Brother Levi. Shanks picked up the wine bottle and took a long sip. At this moment, Red Hair Pirates is holding a banquet. After this period of sailing, there are a few new faces on his ship. These are all new crew members he recruited on the Grand Line. Everyone, we can't be compared with Levi. Since his bounty has reached 2 billion, we have to work hard. Shanks raised his wine and said to his subordinates, and then his subordinates cheered. In the middle, they picked up the wine glasses and drank them all in one gulp. Levi, it's Levi again. Doflamingo was hiding in the shadows, and the newspaper in his hand had been clenched into a ball with hatred. He originally planned to use Op Fruit to knock on the door of world government, and then use Op Fruit to knock on the door of world government. Op Fruit accomplished his plan to return to the Celestial Dragons, but was thwarted by his only relative, his brother Corazon. Doflamingo feels ironic now that he thinks about it. He has been very resourceful in his life, but he never expected that he would be plotted by Sengoku. His biological brother was actually instigated by Sengoku to rebel. All his plans were under Sengoku's control. If Corazon hadn't revealed a flaw for Luo to capture the Op Fruit, Doflamingo would have been sent to Impel Down's prison by Corazon sooner or later. Now that Op Fruit has been eaten by Luo, and Luo has become Levi's subordinate, Doflamingo knows that using Op Fruit to return to the ranks of Celestial Dragons is destined to become a delusion, and now the next plan is to become Shichibukai. I must become a Shichibukai, return to Dressrosa, and become the king of Dressrosa. Doflamingo let out an extremely suppressed roar. Friends, fourth update, once again asking for flowers and comments. The author is working hard on coding. Please support me a lot, the more flowers, evaluation votes, monthly votes, and rewards the better, thank you. Chapter 54. The engagement that fell from the sky, please collect, flowers, comments. After Levi's battle with Garp, he carried the power of victory all the way to the Grand Line. Unlike when he came, all the pirate ships saw Levi's golden ship and took the initiative to avoid it. The closest pirate ships even will take the initiative to lower half of the pirate flag to show respect for Levi. However, a group of uninvited guests came to Levi's boat today. They said they came to deliver a message on behalf of a big shot. Master Levi, I am Baron Dandan, a combatant in the Big Mom pirate group. I am here on the order of Big Mom. At this moment, there is a long-legged man in front of Levi's boat wearing sunglasses, eggshell pants, holding a cane, and a mustache. Now this guy puts a hat on his head. He took down the cup of hot drink, took a sip and introduced himself to Levi. Next to him stood a lion wearing sunglasses. This lion was dressed very similarly to Baron Eggy, and was also dressed in pink. My name is Bokemusi. We are here to send Mr. Levi an invitation to Mom's tea party. At the same time, congratulations to Mr. Levi. You will soon become the son-in-law of our family. At this moment, Bokemusi cupped a pair of fleshy little hands. He kept bowing to Levi, looking full of joy. Levi knew him. This guy was a fur tribesman from Elephant Island, a zone turtle fruit user. Which of her daughters does Big Mom want to marry me? Levi asked curiously. Auntie has been a wild and free-spirited person all her life. She has almost slept with all the races in one piece, and she has many daughters with varying quality. If others go out to sea to find partners to form a pirate group, Auntie is awesome. She gave birth to a pirate group herself. Congratulations, this time you are marrying Big Mom's 14th daughter, Charlotte Smoothie. Baron Dandon added with a smile beside him. Charlotte Smoothie? A long-legged figure appeared in Levi's mind. Charlotte Smoothie is the 14th daughter of Charlotte Linlin. She is the Minister of Juice of the Kingdom of Torrent and one of the top 4 dessert generals. Her bounty is 932 million belly. Charlotte Smoothie is one of the rare good-looking members of the Big Mom Pirates. She has long white hair that reaches her legs. She wears a hat, a scarf, and a pair of heavy gloves on her hands. There are long and unique tattoos on her legs. She carries a long sword with a spiral sheath on her back and wears a pair of pink patterned boots. It's quite interesting that Auntie gave me a beautiful and powerful daughter-in-law, Levi thought to himself. That's right, but I have someone I like, so Charlotte Smoothie can only be a child, Levi said with regret. What? Someone actually dares to make Auntie's children younger? Baron Eggman and Pokermus were immediately shocked. Their brothers have always been responsible for the wedding invitations and tea party invitations for Auntie's children, and they have sent them to them for so many years. This is the first time I heard such bastard words. How dare someone dare to let the aunt's daughter grow up? Master Levi, you misunderstood. Baron Dandon said with a smile. You are not marrying Master Smoothie, it is Master Smoothie who is marrying you in the Kingdom of Talent. The wedding and tea party are held at the same time, half a year later. What? Auntie actually looks down on me so much. Levi's eyes suddenly became sharp. Baron Eggman and Pockmus suddenly felt that Levi's aura suddenly became very oppressive, and even their breathing became difficult. It's smooth. Now Levi is like a big pirate with a bounty of 2 billion belly. So strong. This feeling is like the coercion of mother when she is angry. How is this possible? Baron Eggman and Pockmus looked at Levi with fear in their eyes, and they felt a wave of fear in Levi's body. Not weaker than Big Mom's breath. How is this possible? Big Mom is the queen of the Talent Kingdom and one of the 4 emperors of the New World. She is the first monster that the Egg Barons have seen. She destroyed the giant village when she was 5 years old, and she was born with steel and iron bones. With her soul fruit, she is the #1 monster in the entire pirate world. But now the young man in front of them, at less than 20 years old, is as powerful as Auntie. What a terrifying monster this is. They feel that Auntie is in big trouble. Okay, I'll accept the invitation. If I have time, I will attend. Please step aside. Levi took the beautifully framed invitation from Baron Eggman's hand, and then he casually gave the invitation to Monet. With that, we'll take our leave. Overwhelmed by Levi's momentum, Baron Eggman and Pockmus hurriedly retreated without saying a word. Friends, this is the 5th update today. The author will code the words first, and you will read them first. In addition, it's evening. Friends who still have flowers and evaluation votes, come and join us. It's night. These things will be wasted if not invested. Chapter 55 Goodbye Golden Lion. Please give me flowers, collections and comments. Boss, where are we going next? Enel asked. Go to the Golden Lion first. We are going to plan a big event that will shock the whole world. Compared with this big event, our previous efforts were just trivial matters, Levi said to Enel. Enel took out the snail worm given by Golden Lion, and he quickly asked for the location of Golden Lion. After that, the ship suddenly accelerated and moved away into the distance. After nearly half a month of sailing, Levi finally arrived at the location of the Golden Lion, but the entire sea area was calm, and there was no trace of the Golden Lion's existence at all. Boss, are we just waiting here for the Golden Lion? He doesn't seem to be here. Nairo walked to Levi's side calmly, and she brushed the broken hair around her ears. Since this little girl came to Levi's boat, she eats and drinks well every day, and her slim figure becomes even more attractive. Now this little girl always sticks to Levi's side when she has nothing to do. Fortunately, Levi has a strong faith, otherwise he would have been eaten by Naraku. They waited here for less than 10 minutes when they suddenly felt that the sky suddenly darkened. What is that? Baby 5 looked at the sky and shouted in horror. Oh my god! That's an island, run away, we will be crushed to death. Sugar screamed in fear. I don't know if it's the influence of the childlike fruit or Sugar's natural timidity, but I always feel that this little girl's courage is comparable to that of the mermaid princess Shirahoshi. It was an extremely huge island. Compared with last time, the island controlled by Golden Lion has expanded 10 times. Even Levi's big ship is now a giant among the ships, but compared with Golden Lion compared to the islands controlled by Lion, they're still small. The island began to slow down slowly as it approached their heads. Finally, the huge island was suspended above Levi's heads. No matter when I see this scene, I feel that this power is extremely amazing. Is this the power of the Golden Lion? Tezuro's eyes were filled with wonder as he looked at the huge island suspended in the sky. Although it was not the first time for him to see Golden Lion's big ship, it was still shocking. Are these brats the method you mentioned? Golden Lion asked condescendingly. He is Breed, the Paramecia pet fruit power user. He is the person I mentioned to solve the beast problem. Levi pulled Breed, who was shrinking behind him, in front of the golden lion. At this moment, Breed was so frightened that he almost fainted. He never thought that he would actually meet the legendary golden lion of the sky pirates. Hello, Senior Golden Lion. Breed had a stiff smile on his face. After that, the golden lion stared closely at Breed. The power of the golden lion was so powerful that Breed almost fainted from fright. He is just a pirate with no bounty in East Blue. God knows what Levi, a rising pirate star, sees in him. Now he has met the legendary super pirate golden lion. This was the king who occupied half of the ocean in his heyday. It's this guy, so weak. Are you sure you're not lying to me? The golden lion was still full of doubts at this moment. After all, even a strong man like him, who had been wandering on the sea for decades, didn't have such a difficult problem. There is no way to solve it, let alone a little pirate who hasn't even come out of East Blue. I've been wandering for several months. I'm so tired. Can we go up and talk to you, Master Golden Lion? Levi stretched out and said to Golden Lion. Boy Levi, you better not lie to me. The golden lion slowly landed on the deck of Levi's big ship, and then Levi's big ship began to slowly get on board. Finally, Levi's big ship slowly landed in front of the golden lion's palace. Stopped. Please follow me, everyone. Brother Deing made a gesture to everyone, and then he took the lead towards the golden lion's palace. What a big laboratory. Levi followed Brother Deing as he walked into the palace, and then they came to a laboratory where a group of huge beasts were imprisoned everywhere. These beasts had blood-red eyes and were extremely violent. After seeing strangers coming in, they all started shouting crazily. Please be quiet, lousy. A gorilla in clothes hit the most ferocious beast with a stick. Then the gorilla said to Monet, Beautiful lady, I'm sorry for scaring you. I am Scaredo from the Flying Pirates. It's our first time meeting you. Please give me some advice. The gorilla's eyes turned into 2 red stars when he saw Monet. Get out of here, lousy. The golden lion let out a majestic roar, and then the gorilla ran away like a bereaved dog. These are the men I recruited on the island of precious beasts to make you laugh. Golden Lion turned back and smiled at Levi and the others. Friends, today's 6th update is here. My task for today is completed and I feel like my body has been hollowed out. In addition, if you have any remaining flowers and evaluation votes, please vote for me. Finally, if Ju's book is well written, please give me some monthly votes and rewards, thank you. Chapter 56 Solution, Asking for Collection, Flowers, Comments. Bride, try and see if you can control this beast. Levi pointed at a 5 to 6 meter large mantis and said to Breed. At this moment, the big guy's whole body was fixed on the iron frame with iron rings. When it saw Levi and others approaching, it hissed like a warning. Bride, go try and see if you can control this beast. Levi pointed at the beast in front of him and ordered Breed. Breed's left hand slowly condensed into a green ring, and then the ring appeared on the neck of the ferocious beast. Breed wiped the sweat on his forehead and said to Levi and Golden Lion with a smile, Sir, I succeeded. Is it that simple? Golden Lion's face was full of disbelief. He just put a small ring on it and subdued the beast. Sir, if you don't believe it, you can release it. We will find out in one try. Breed was obviously a little unhappy when his professional field was questioned. At this moment, he confidently asked Golden Lion to release this vicious beast. Come out. Ding. The Golden Lion's right foot quickly kicked, and the iron ring holding the mantis broke at the same time. Hiss. Hiss. The big mantis roared at Levi and others, and then she spread out her huge wing membranes and prepared to fly high. Sit down. Garrod shouted to the mantis. After that, the ring on the neck of the giant mantis suddenly lit up. After struggling in the air for a long time, the beast squatted down on the spot. How is it possible? This ferocious beast actually has the intelligence of a 5 or 6-year-old human child, and it can actually understand my orders. Breed was in disbelief. Insects are animals with very small brains, so their intelligence is extremely low. It is true that Breed can control them simply, but this will consume a lot of his energy. He did not expect to succeed so easily today. This is because a unique substance has been added to the beasts here. I named this substance IQ. This substance can make the animals become larger, more grumpy, and more aggressive. It also makes the animals' IQs higher. Brother Deing rarely spoke. At this moment, his expression was full of pride. Ever since Golden Lion escaped from Impel Down and accidentally discovered this place, Brother Deing has been studying here for more than 10 years. He is the most knowledgeable, the right person. Come this way. Breed pointed his finger to the left and shouted at the big mantis in front of him. After that, the mantis struggled for a while, and then slowly crawled towards the direction pointed by Breed. Forward, backward, sprint. This big mantis was surrendered by Breed in less than a moment. Good, very good, excellent. Golden Lion looked up to the sky and laughed. The boy brought by Levi really had some skills. He actually solved the problem that had troubled Golden Lion for so many years. Your name is Breed, right? How many ferocious beasts can you control in total? Golden Lion suddenly lowered his face and asked Breed. Golden Lion is currently the world's greatest swordsman, and he is also the world's top demon fruit power. He knows that certain devil fruit requires physical strength to be used. Sir, theoretically speaking, as long as my ring can trap these ferocious beasts, then the upper limit of my control is unlimited. Breed considered it for a long time and said cautiously to the Golden Lion. Bride, right? You are very good. You will be a member of my flying pirates from now on. Golden Lion patted Breed on the shoulder and laughed excitedly. Now that the most difficult problem is solved, he can step up to the next step. In order to verify that what Breed said was true, he then controlled all the trapped beasts. Nearly 10,000 huge ferocious beasts stood behind Breed. The scene was truly spectacular. Breed looked at the army of ferocious beasts behind him with emotion. He originally thought that Levi's words were lying to him, but he didn't expect that Levi really built a pet beast kingdom for him. Bride, there are more ferocious beasts in the forest in front of me. Those ferocious beasts were the first to leave the laboratory. They're larger and more dangerous. Now you go. Control the ferocious beasts. Golden Lion gave the first order to Breed. I promise to complete the mission. With such a powerful army of ferocious beasts at hand, let alone these ferocious beasts in this forest, I dare to attack even the Marine headquarters now. Breed's chest thumped loudly. I didn't expect you to have such courage, Breed. However, our beast still needs to be further strengthened. After the strengthening is completed, we will attack Marineford. This time, I must completely destroy Marineford. Golden Lion comforted Breed and said, it's another new day, there are still 6 updates today. Thanks to this friend who starts with 199 for his tip and monthly ticket. Finally, please ask for a wave of flowers, evaluation votes, rewards, and monthly passes. Chapter 57. Attack of Moria, please send me flowers, collections and comments. I just said it casually, don't take it seriously. Breed was almost scared to death. This group of people is really too dangerous. They dare to attack the Marine headquarters if they disagree. Marineford is the Marine headquarters. Is that something ordinary people dare to mess with? Even the 4 emperors, the most powerful pirates, none of them dared to attack it. Look at Marineford's defensive lineup: Marine Marshal Sengoku, Marine 3 Admiral Akainu, Aokiji, Kizaru, and Marine Hero Garp. Each of these top combat forces has almost the same strength as the 4 emperors. Moreover, there are countless Marines stationed in Marineford, and countless Marine Vice Admiral, Rear Admiral and Captain level officers rest there. Unless all the pirates go to war with Marine, then a single pirate group going to fight Marine one-on-one is tantamount to hurling an egg at a rock. Don't worry. When the time comes, you can just command these ferocious beasts from a distance. You don't have to go to the battlefield in person. Levi comforted. But, Breed wanted to argue, but he gave up as soon as he caught Golden Lion's eyes. Go ahead, Breed. First, complete the task entrusted to you by the Golden Lion. Levi patted Breed on the shoulder and said to Breed. Breed glanced at the army of ferocious beasts behind him, and his confidence returned to him. With so many troops guarding him, even Marine Admiral could besiege them to death. Thinking of this, Breed was filled with fighting spirit again, and he walked out with his head held high. Boss Levi, look at this. Tetsolo handed a newspaper to Levi solemnly. Levi took the newspaper and looked at it. The headline above said that 3 days later, the Moria pirates and the Beasts pirates, one of the 4 emperors, will face off in the waters of Changshi Island. And Kaido also responded personally? Moria is about to go to war with Kaido, and their battlefield is actually in the New World. It's really surprising. In Levi's view, Moria's current strength is far behind Kaido. Boss, it's time for us to challenge the 4 emperors. Look at Moria, we are going to be beaten by him, Tetsolo said anxiously to Levi. Do you think Moria can beat Kaido? Levi's face was full of surprise. Can't we win? Moria's large fleet is the largest among all pirate groups. The number of his pirate group is dozens of times that of other pirate groups. Tetsolo obviously has a great sense of Moria. Good. It will definitely be a tragedy for Moria in 3 days. Levi sighed. Moria is now considered a character, strong, motivated and very good to his subordinates. Not even the pirates he defeated had a bad word to say about her. This can be considered one of the major events in the pirate world. We should be able to catch up if we set off now. Levi thought for a while and then headed towards Changshi Island with Enel and Tetsolo. Levi originally invited Golden Lion to watch the game, but Golden Lion said disdainfully, "What's the point of 2 groups playing house?" So, Levi and the others rushed to the battle site in Enel's spaceship. Levi's ship was too big, and in terms of speed alone, it was not as fast as Enel's small spaceship. When the news of the battle between Moria and Kaido on Changshi Island came, countless pirate groups came to witness this historic moment. This was the new generation of pirates asking for power from the older generation of pirates, regardless of victory or defeat. This battle has extraordinary significance for both old and new pirates. There are also pirate groups who participate in the war under the banner of Moria. After all, if Moria can really defeat Kaido, then they can get a share of Kaido's huge territory. If they lose, it will cost them their lives at most. Men wandering in the sea have this kind of courage, so the size of the Moria pirate group has expanded 3 times compared to before. Moria's 3-masted ship, which is as huge as an island, is 1 camp, and the other newly joined pirate groups are a camp. Because Levi's boat was empty, he had a clear view of the entire battlefield. The only pity was that there were still fog in many places on Changshi Island, which had some impact on Levi, who was watching the battle. Shanks, I didn't expect you to be here too. Levi greeted Shanks warmly. Shanks was now on Moria's ship. There was a man with a sleek slicked bag next to him. I didn't expect that Levi, who had a bounty of 2 billion, would also come to watch the battle. Moria, are really honored. A 5 to 6 meter tall shallot greeted Levi with a big smile. Let me introduce to you, this is Crocodile, the sand crocodile. He has the rare Logia devil fruit ability. Moria introduced to Levi. Levi smiled and nodded to Crocodile, and then his attention returned to Moria again. Friends, today's second update is a bit late, sorry. Finally, please send me flowers, evaluation votes, rewards, and monthly votes. Chapter 58. Twobu Perona, please collect, flowers, evaluation votes. Levi, since you're here, let's listen together, Moria said an incoherent sentence to Levi. Everyone, you are all well established among the rising pirates. I actually came to you today with a merciless request. Moria stopped here. Several people were puzzled when a green-haired beauty brought a pink-haired twin-tail loli in front of them. This is the daughter of one of my brothers. Her name is Perona. Her parents saved my life several times. Later, during the war, her parents died. I have always raised her as my daughter. Now she is older. Soon. Moria paused here. Obviously Moria is not optimistic about this battle either. He is obviously asking for help. Sorry, my boat is full of men, and I don't know how to raise children. Shanks smiled and refused, leaving a group of old men to raise a little girl. This scene is also funny when you think about it. Me too. Crocodile also refused directly. I have a group of little girls on my boat. They can be companions. Levi's words made Moria's eyes light up immediately. Thank you, brother Levi. If I can defeat Kaido by chance in this battle, I will share 1/10 of your territory for today's sake. Moria promised Levi directly. 1/10 of the territory, what a big deal. Several people's hearts skipped a beat. Although Moria's promise now was a blank check, but for promising such a huge profit for a little girl, Moria is really a person who values friendship and loyalty. People. I won't leave, I am also a demon fruit power, I can fight with you, Perona spoke with a cry. At this moment, Perona still sounds like a Lolita, and her voice sounds very soft and cute. Listen, Perona, this is my battle. You are still young. You have your own adventure. Your battle should be 10 years later, after you grow up. Do you understand? Moria knelt down and wiped it gently. Gone are Perona's tears. Moria, promise me not to die, Perona begged, pulling on Moria's clothes. I'm Moria, how could I die? Moria gently touched Perona's little head and said. You and I hook up. Perona's fair and delicate index finger stretched out to Moria. Moria smiled and said, okay, I promise you. Then Perona's fingers caught Moria's little finger. Perona, this is your brother Levi, can you just stay by my side for a while? Moria brought Perona in front of Levi. Your name is Perona. Come on, Uncle will do a trick for you. Tetzolo squatted next to Perona and said to her with a smile. Come, look here. Tetzolo's hands slowly joined together, and then a small golden crown slowly formed in his hands. As expected, women are irresistible to such sparkling jewelry. Perona stared blankly at the small yellow crown, and then Tetzolo brought the crown to Perona's head. It's beautiful. Perona happily spun around in circles 3 times, and then she stopped crying. She happily took a small mirror and looked at it. This is the magic trick Tetzolo got from Sugar, and now it is really effective when using it on Perona. The beast's pirates are coming. I don't know who shouted. Levi and the others looked forward. 50 battleships were lined up, and each battleship had a white skull pirate flag with horns hanging on it. That's the sign of Beast's pirates. Beast's pirates. Kaido of the Beasts has arrived on the battlefield. Okay, my battle is about to begin. Please leave, Moria said politely to Levi and others. So, the 3 captains also walked towards their pirate ships. Moria, you must win, Perona shouted to Moria loudly. That's absolutely of course. Moria showed a very funny smile to Perona, and Perona was immediately amused. In the past, Moria would tease Moria like this every time she met a strong enemy, and they would always get the final victory. Victory. But is this really the case? Levi and Tetzolo took Perona back to the proverbs. With the advantage of the high altitude, he could clearly see the formations of both sides. Moria is worthy of being the supernova with the largest pirate group in the entire Grand Line. He is extremely talented in leading troops. On his ship, every pirate's position is very reasonable, which looks pleasing to the eye. In comparison, the new group of pirates that Moria joined in Kaido's pirate group who tried to seek wealth and danger were not so particular. They were huddled together in a chaotic mess. The enemies were extremely jealous when they met. The moment Kaido's pirate group appeared, this group of pirates rushed towards Kaido like a bee. The Kaido pirate group was not to be outdone, and several ships came towards them. The war is about to break out. Friends, here comes the third update. Friends who also have flowers and evaluation votes, please support me. The author is begging for evaluation votes and flowers while working hard to write. Chapter 59. Resurrection of the Dead. Please give me flowers, collections and comments. The pirates of the new era are still too weak compared to Kaido's pirate group. As soon as they fought, they were instantly killed and defeated by Kaido's pirate group. As expected of Kaido of the Beasts, all of his subordinates are Zone's demon fruit power, Tesoro exclaimed. Zone's devil fruit has only one advantage, that is, it has rough skin, thick flesh, and infinite strength. It has always been called the bottom of the 3 series of demon fruit power. But today, Zone's demon fruit power played an unexpected role on the battlefield. Because of his rough skin and thick flesh, he didn't have to worry about defense at all. Because of his infinite strength, they were simply unstoppable in a fight. The new pirates who joined the Moria pirates collapsed. They howled and fled in all directions, but they were surrounded by the Zone demon fruit power of the Kaido pirates. They had no place to escape. In the blink of an eye, the guy was killed completely. Except for those captains of the pirate group who killed a few of Zone's demon fruit powers, the others basically did not cause any losses to the Kaido pirate group. The Kaido pirates had the upper hand. Kaido stood on the boat without moving a step. However, to everyone's surprise, the Kaido pirates also did not move. He actually sat back and watched these pirates being slaughtered. Ding! Ding ding! With a faint ringing of bells, the green-haired woman with Perona walked up to Moria. At this moment, she changed into a gauze, and there were some golden bells on top of the gauze. She moved lightly with her steps. The bells on her body made crisp sounds. Aunt Anne is going to take action, Perona said excitedly. When Levi and others were confused, they discovered that this woman named Anne began to dance slowly on the deck of Moria. Her dancing posture was extremely flexible. The joints in her body were as soft as a snake, and she could twist freely and tremble. It was passed from the fingertips of her left hand to her shoulder, and then from her shoulder to the fingertips of her right hand. As her whole body danced, the bells on her body rang more frequently. As she danced, a horrifying scene appeared. The pirates who had been wiped out by Kaido's pirate group slowly stood up, and some were cut in half by Kaido. Even such half-corpses stood up. This is Aunt Anne's devil fruit ability. She is a Paramecia bone fruit ability user. She can manipulate the bones of the dead and let the dead continue to fight. Seeing the mind-numbing scene in front of her, Perona not only did not feel the slightest fear, instead, she enthusiastically acted as an interpreter for Levi and others. The Kaido pirates were also confused by this strange scene. When these corpses rushed towards them and slashed at them with knives, they suddenly woke up. There was a sound of swords piercing flesh. The members of the Kaido pirates all have Zone's demon fruit power. Their resilience is strong and they are never afraid of competing with others. Therefore, when the swords struck, they not only did not dodge, but he also swung his weapon at the opponent fiercely. You idiots, the people facing you are all dead bodies, and you are still exchanging injuries for injuries with them. Beside Kaido, a strong man with 2 braids and a ponytail shouted to his subordinates Road. This Levi also knows that this is Jack the Drow under Kaido. He is a user with the ability of the Devil Fruit Mammoth Fruit, an ancient species of Zone. Kaido only brought Jack the Drow with him today, and there was no trace of Flame Ember and Plague Queen. This showed that Kaido did not take Moria seriously at all, and came with only 1/3 of his strength. Although these dead bodies were strange, they were beaten into minced meat by the Kaido pirates. Boohoo! The broken bones of these corpses were shot towards the Kaido pirates like darts, leaving bursts of scars on the pirates of the Kaido pirates. Afterwards, these bones flew to Annie's side and combined into a huge white bones armor. It can be seen that Anne is also a woman with good looks. Her armor is extremely beautiful. Under the sunlight, the armor shines brightly. At this moment, she was standing next to Moria, just like an admiral fighting on the battlefield, no longer the delicate and beautiful image she had just now. Prepare the artillery array. Moria let out a loud shout, and then an extremely astonishing scene occurred on his ship. With a sound of mechanical snapping, densely packed gun barrels appeared in front of Moria's ship. This is another big killer weapon for our Moria pirates. This artillery array is not just as simple as adding countless cannons. Perona turned to show off to Levi and others. Perona, this little girl, may be born with a big nerve. Within half a day of boarding the ship, she became familiar with Levi and others. The 4th update today, again asking for flowers and comments. Chapter 60. Bombardment, please ask for flowers, collections, comments. Every ship is ready, fire. When the Moria pirates were preparing for the bombardment, Jack also gave orders to the Beast's pirates. Boom boom boom. A burst of intensive artillery fire covered up the sound of fighting on the battlefield, and the Kaido pirates' artillery fire continued to stir up dense water columns around the Moria pirates. Occasionally, when a cannonball was about to land on Moria's ship, a figure holding 2 swords suddenly appeared above Moria's pirate ship. After a series of emerald green slashes, all the cannonballs were split into 2 by this person. It's Uncle Ulysses. He is a Zone Mantis fruit user and the swordsman of our pirate group. Perona introduced Levi and others. When she finished speaking, in the sky above the Moria pirate group, that Yuri the Sith stopped in midair. Only then did Levi and the others see his face clearly. This man's eyes were extremely hollow, and he was a dual sword swordsman. Unlike ordinary dual sword swordsmen, this man's sword was actually one long and one short. Well done, Ulysses, Brandon, let the Kaido pirates see how powerful you are, Moria said to the bearded man smoking next to him. The big man put out the cigarette in his hand, then the corners of his mouth tilted slightly, and he said loudly, "Okay, Captain. That's Uncle Brandon, the gunner of our Moria pirates." His ears were damaged by the cannon, so his voice became very loud. "Now you can see our Moria pirates. The artillery formation." Perona's eyes were full of pride. The gun barrels of the Moria pirates slowly raised, and then the cannons on his ship actually fired at the same time. These cannons were extremely accurate, and none of them missed. The entire Kaido pirates were immediately knocked upside down. How is this possible? Is this some new technology? Levi was also shocked by the artillery array of the Moria pirates. The cannons of this era were still front-loaded solid bullets, and their accuracy all depended on luck, so they can often be seen in one piece. At this scene, although the artillery fire from both sides was loud, few of them could actually hit the other side. But the cannons on the Moria ship were different. Not only were these cannons extremely accurate, not one of the nearly 100 cannons missed, but they were also nearly 10 times more powerful than ordinary cannons. Rush over quickly. Jack's eyes turned red. He had never encountered such a provocation before, so he immediately led his men and all the beast's pirates to press forward. Second shot, get ready, Brandon shouted, and then his cannon was fired again. This time only half of the gunfire was fired, but after the round of gunfire was completed, the half of the gunfire started again. Moria's artillery array continued to roar, causing heavy losses to the Kaido pirates. The ships of the Kaido pirates were continuously blown into fireballs one after another, but these ships were not guarded by masters, and the ships guarded by masters were still intact. "Brandon, why did the artillery fire stop?" Moria turned around and asked. "Captain, we have fired too many cannons now. The barrels are red hot. If we fire the cannon again, it will explode," Brandon shouted. "It's okay, keep firing. If we win today, we can buy these properties in minutes. If we lose, what's the use of keeping these cannons?" Moria said calmly. At this moment, Moria's eyes were fixed on the tall figure of Kaido opposite him. He took a deep breath. He was already ready for the battle. Boom! Moria's artillery array once again showed its power, and with the sound of explosions one after another, Moria's artillery array was all scrapped. The results of this round were extremely brilliant. At least nearly half of Kaido's men were killed. "Okay, brothers. The real time to test us has arrived. If we can win today, whether you are alive or dead today, you will be the heroes of our Moria pirates. I will let you enjoy wealth forever. Not only that, we will also let your names be remembered by all pirates forever. If we lose, don't worry, I, Moria, will never live alone." Moria looked at the brothers who have followed him for many years, and he couldn't help but say what he said. "Words from the bottom of my heart. No, you have to live. You are the most likely among us to defeat Kaido. If we lose this time, you have to wait for another chance to avenge us," Ulysses said expressionlessly. "Yes, Captain, you have always disagreed with challenging Kaido so early, but this is our own choice. Any one of us can die, but you can't." Ulysses' words were agreed by the other pirates. They all echoed. "Okay. Then we will work hard so that no one will die, and we will become the new 4 emperors," Moria laughed. 4 emperors. 4 emperors. 4 emperors. Moria's subordinates shouted at the same time. Their morale was so high that it made people's blood boil. "Friends, it's evening. If you have flowers and evaluation votes, please vote. The author is working hard to code 6th. Chapter 60. Bombardment, please ask for flowers, collections, comments. Every ship is ready, fire." When the Moria pirates were preparing for the bombardment, Jack also gave orders to the beast's pirates. Boom boom boom. A burst of intensive artillery fire covered up the sound of fighting on the battlefield, and the Kaido pirates' artillery fire continued to stir up dense water columns around the Moria pirates. Occasionally, when a cannonball was about to land on Moria's ship, a figure holding 2 swords suddenly appeared above Moria's pirate ship. After a series of emerald green slashes, all the cannonballs were split into 2 by this person. "It's Uncle Ulysses. He is a Zone Mantis fruit user and the swordsman of our pirate group." Perona introduced Levi and others. When she finished speaking, in the sky above the Moria pirate group, that Yuri the Sith stopped in midair. Only then did Levi and the others see his face clearly. This man's eyes were extremely hollow, and he was a dual sword swordsman. Unlike ordinary dual sword swordsmen, this man's sword was actually one long and one short. "Well done, Ulysses, Brandon, let the Kaido pirates see how powerful you are," Moria said to the bearded man smoking next to him. The big man put out the cigarette in his hand, then the corners of his mouth tilted slightly, and he said loudly, "Okay, Captain. That's Uncle Brandon, the gunner of our Moria pirates." His ears were damaged by the cannon, so his voice became very loud. "Now you can see our Moria pirates. The artillery formation." Perona's eyes were full of pride. The gun barrels of the Moria pirates slowly raised, and then the cannons on his ship actually fired at the same time. These cannons were extremely accurate, and none of them missed. The entire Kaido pirates were immediately knocked upside down. How is this possible? Is this some new technology? Levi was also shocked by the artillery array of the Moria pirates. The cannons of this era were still front-loaded solid bullets, and their accuracy all depended on luck, so they can often be seen in one piece. At this scene, Although the artillery fire from both sides was loud, few of them could actually hit the other side. But the cannons on the Moria ship were different. Not only were these cannons extremely accurate, not one of the nearly 100 cannons missed, but they were also nearly 10 times more powerful than ordinary cannons. Rush over quickly. Jack's eyes turned red. He had never encountered such a provocation before, so he immediately led his men and all the beast's pirates to press forward. Second shot, get ready, Brandon shouted, and then his cannon was fired again. This time only half of the gunfire was fired, but after the round of gunfire was completed, the half of the gunfire started again. Moria's artillery array continued to roar, causing heavy losses to the Kaido pirates. The ships of the Kaido pirates were continuously blown into fireballs one after another, but these ships were not guarded by masters, and the ships guarded by masters were still intact. Brandon, why did the artillery fire stop? Moria turned around and asked. Captain, we have fired too many cannons now. The barrels are red hot. If we fire the cannon again, it will explode, Brandon shouted. It's okay, keep firing. If we win today, we can buy these properties in minutes. If we lose, what's the use of keeping these cannons? Moria said calmly. At this moment, Moria's eyes were fixed on the tall figure of Kaido opposite him. He took a deep breath. He was already ready for the battle. Boom! Moria's artillery array once again showed its power, and with the sound of explosions one after another, Moria's artillery array was all scrapped. The results of this round were extremely brilliant. At least nearly half of Kaido's men were killed. Okay, brothers. The real time to test us has arrived. If we can win today, whether you are alive or dead today, you will be the heroes of our Moria pirates. I will let you enjoy wealth forever. Not only that, we will also let your names be remembered by all pirates forever. If we lose, don't worry, Moria, will never live alone. Moria looked at the brothers who have followed him for many years, and he couldn't help but say what he said. Words from the bottom of my heart. No, you have to live. You are the most likely among us to defeat Kaido. If we lose this time, you have to wait for another chance to avenge us, Ulysses said expressionlessly. Yes, Captain, you have always disagreed with challenging Kaido so early, but this is our own choice. Any one of us can die, but you can't. Ulysses' words were agreed by the other pirates. They all echoed. Okay. Then we will work hard so that no one will die, and we will become the new 4 emperors, Moria laughed. 4 emperors. 4 emperors. 4 emperors. Moria's subordinates shouted at the same time. Their morale was so high that it made people's blood boil. Friends, it's evening. If you have flowers and evaluation votes, please vote. The author is working hard to code 6th. Chapter 61 Morav's Kaido, asking for flowers, collections, comments. What a group of good men. Levi looked at the pirates in front of him and couldn't help but admired. These are a group of passionate men with dreams. They are the pioneers of the new era to challenge the old era pirates, no matter what their ending is today. Their legacy is destined to be remembered by all pirates of the new era. The Kaido pirates rushed to Moria's ship in the blink of an eye. Moria's ship was huge and could be used as a battlefield. At this moment, Moria's pirates took advantage of the location to continuously weaken the power of the Kaido pirates. Since the Kaido pirates are all Zone's demon fruit power, the harassment from the Moria pirates has not had much effect at all. In just half an hour, the Kaido pirates have come face to face with the Moria pirates. Stand together. Moria, I admire your courage. In terms of age, we are pirates of the same era. If you dare to challenge Laozi today, be prepared for the annihilation of the entire army. Kaido's voice spread like thunder. The entire Moria pirates. Brothers, are you afraid of death? Moria asked the pirates behind him. Don't be afraid, don't be afraid, don't be afraid. The faces of the pirates of the Moria pirates all turned red, and their knuckles turned white from excitement. This was what they said from the bottom of their hearts. Kill. In the blink of an eye, the Moria pirates and the Kaido pirates were fighting together. Kaido, I've been waiting for you for a long time. Moria shouted loudly to Kaido, and then his figure began to rise steadily. In the blink of an eye, his height reached the same height as Kaido. This is why Moria chose this foggy place. All the pirates have given their shadows to Moria, and now Moria's strength has reached its strongest. Kagekuri. Moria's shadow turned into a huge scissor and cut across the entire battlefield. Kaido's brows furrowed sharply. How dare you play such a trick in front of Laozi? Kaido's mace hit Moria's shadow scissors heavily. On top of Kaido's mace, there was a layer of pitch-black Conqueror's Haki lingering on it. Boom! Moria's ship shook violently, and as Kaido's mace fell, a shocking crack appeared on the entire ship. This crack almost broke Moria's ship in half. Moria let out a groan as his shadow was hit hard by Kaido's mace. He only took in nearly a third of the shadows of Beast's pirates. Shadow Horn Gun. Moria condensed the collected shadow into a huge pitch-black spear, and then he stabbed Kaido with the spear. Ding! The Shadow Horn spear pierced Kaido's body and made a sound of gold and iron clashing. Kaido actually managed to withstand Moria's blow by relying on his physical strength. What a terrifying body! While Moria was in shock, Kaido's mace was already hitting Moria with endless sounds of wind and thunder. Moria instantly turned into bats and flew away. Moria's figure condensed into shape again. He had heard that Kaido of the Beast's physique was unparalleled in the world, but he never expected that he would be so strong. As expected of four emperors, Kaido, Shanks, Levi and others who were watching the battle were shocked. This was the first time for them to be pirates of this kind. At this moment, they were all thinking secretly in their hearts, how should they deal with Kaido if he met him? The rest of the Moria pirates were not optimistic either. They fell to the swords and guns of the Beast's pirates one after another. Only Annie, as more and more people died, her armor continued to strengthen. At this moment, Annie was fighting Jack head-on. Jack had turned into a giant mammoth. Annie was wrestling with Kaido in that white bone armor. The Moria pirates formed two arrows and continuously attacked the Kaido pirates. Ulysses and Brandon were the arrows. At this moment, Levi discovered that Brandon was also a boxing master. However, their overall strength was far different from that of the Kaido pirates, and they were gradually surrounded by the Kaido pirates and fell into a bitter battle. Moria, your attack power is too low, add more power. Kaido shouted at Moria while waving his mace. At this moment, Moria's mouth and nose were bleeding from Kaido's monster-like force. If it weren't for the strong life-saving effect of the shadow fruit, he would have died in Kaido's hands. Annie. Moria heard Brandon's heart-rending roar. He turned around and saw a scene that made him dizzy. Anne's body was penetrated by Jack's ivory, and thick blood flowed down the road. Follow Jack's ivory flow. You dare to be distracted while fighting me. You are really seeking death. When Moria was distracted, Kaido's mace hit Moria's body heavily. First of all, thanks to the netizens starting with 176 for the reward. Today's 6th update, the author's task for today is completed. It's evening, everyone who has remaining flowers and evaluation votes can vote for it. They are all free, and they are available again after today. Finally, if you think this book is in good condition, please vote for it with flowers, evaluation votes, monthly votes, and rewards. Thank you, author. Chapter 62. The entire group is destroyed. Please give me flowers, collections and comments. Boom. Moria's body was thrown hard, and then his body hit the deck where corpses were scattered. When Jack saw this, he smiled coldly, and then he smashed the beautiful woman's body, which was clad in ivory, onto Moria's body. Annie, my Anne. Moria tremblingly held Anne's broken body. His heart felt as if it was being eaten by thousands of ants. Although Moria had already foreseen this situation, when it really happened, he still couldn't accept it. The brothers he spent so much time with were gone in an instant. Jack strode towards Moria again. Just when Moria was about to be stepped on by Jack, a dark green slashed diagonally at Jack's body and knocked him away. Captain, are you okay? Ulysses and Brandon arrived in front of Moria, and their situation was not optimistic at this moment. Brandon's strong body was covered with scars, and Ulysses' left arm was missing. How many brothers do we have? Moria asked tremblingly. It's all in front of you. Our Moria pirates have been wiped out, Brandon said with a sad smile. From today on, there will be no more Moria pirates. Ulysses still had a cold expression, as if nothing could make his expression melt even a little bit. Okay, let's fight Kaido today. Moria struggled to stand up. His body strength could not be compared with Kaido. At this moment, he was hit hard by Kaido and he was seriously injured. It's meaningless. Brandon and I can't leave anymore. You can go, Brandon, and I will cover you. Ulysses looked coldly at the Kaido pirates who surrounded them on 3 levels inside and 3 outside. His right hand held the sword tighter. Yes, we have tried our best. You can't die. You have to reform the Moria pirates to defeat Kaido. Would the Moria pirates still be the Moria pirates without Moria? Brandon laughed, and then he lifted a heavy axe from the ground and stood beside Ulysses. Kill. The two of them shouted loudly again and rushed towards the Kaido pirates. With Kaido's mace smashed down, the entire Moria pirates completely became history. Kaido, I will come back to you, just wait. Moria looked at Moria fiercely, and when Kaido's mace came, Moria had disappeared. Although the shadow fruit is not the most offensive fruit, it is definitely the most life-saving fruit. Perona had already burst into tears, and today was the most unforgettable day for her. All her relatives died in one day, and she witnessed their misery. Is this the strength of the 4 emperors? The pirates watching the battle were all filled with shock. The Moria pirates are also considered to be among the top ones in terms of strength. Unexpectedly, he was among the Kaido pirates without taking a few rounds, overturned. Kaido has become so powerful. How strong should Whitebeard, who is known as the strongest man in the world, be? Crocodile has always been ambitious since he got Logia's devil fruit. Unexpectedly, he underestimated the hero above the sea. It seems that he still has to wait until he is stronger to be reliable. Crocodile decided to go back to practice for a while before challenging Whitebeard. Look, this is the strong man on the sea. Only by challenging this kind of guy can our life be interesting. Unlike other pirates who were full of fear, the red hair pirates became even more enthusiastic at this moment. They have seen the pinnacle of this world, and they are about to charge towards this pinnacle. What a bunch of lunatics. The surrounding pirate groups moved further away from the red hair pirates. After seeing Kaido's terrifying power, they still dared to clamor to challenge Kaido. They were really not afraid of death. Kaido glanced at the red hair pirates and stopped paying attention. Every year, there are pirate groups like the Moria pirates who don't know how big the sky is. They're all frogs in the well who have never seen how big the sky is. Kaido subconsciously attributes the red hair pirates to them. In this column, he stopped paying attention after taking a look at red hair pirates. Now that he had lost so many of his men, and the captain of the Mariejois pirates, Mariejois, had run away, Kaido didn't get the battle he wanted, and he felt very unhappy. Search. Leave no member of the Mariejois pirates behind, Kaido shouted at his crew members. So the members of the Kaido pirates began to take action, and they began to conduct a carpet-like search of the sea area. The entire sea area suddenly became agitated. Just as the various pirate groups began to evacuate, the red-haired man keenly noticed that the pirate ship of the Grey Wolf pirate group took the initiative to approach the Kaido pirate group. After that, Grey-Hair Grey Wolf, the captain of the Wolf Pirates, headed towards Kaido. A new day, a new beginning. Friends, please give me flowers and comment votes. There are still 6 updates today. As the author is working hard to code, I would like to ask for flowers, evaluation votes, monthly votes, and rewards. P.S. Thank you to this friend who started with 135 for his monthly ticket. Chapter 63. Showdown with Kaido. Please give me flowers, collections and comments. Captain, this guy said he knew a remnant of the Mariejois pirates. Jack brought a wretched middle-aged man with a sharp mouth and monkey cheeks in front of Kaido. Hello, Boss Kaido, I am Grey Wolf, the captain of the Grey Wolf pirates. I know that Mariejoi's adopted daughter is above us now. Grey Wolf raised his head and looked at the ship of Levi and others. There are still people who dare to stand on top of Lousy. When Kaido noticed Levi's ship floating in the sky, his temper became even more unhappy. Get down, Lousy! Kaido shouted to Levi and others. Then he threw his mace, and the mace made a shrill whistle and flew towards Levi and the others. When the mace was about to hit the spacecraft, Enel controlled the spacecraft to fly upward to avoid his mace. Kaido, what are you doing? Levi came to the sky above Kaido and asked Kaido. He was about to leave with Perona, but was suddenly attacked by Kaido. Sir, that's the kid. Grey Wolf pointed at Perona, who was lying on Levi's body and crying into a ball, and said to Kaido. You actually dared to hide the people of the Mariejois pirates. How brave you are. Before Kaido could speak, Grey Wolf acted like a fox and a tiger. Levi looked at the Grey Wolf in front of him with a half smile. This was a person who wanted to step on the Mariejois pirates and become the leader. What's your name? Levi glanced at the man and asked. Grey Wolf suddenly felt like he was about to explode. After all, he was also a big pirate with a bounty of 80 million belly. Unexpectedly, Levi didn't recognize him. I am Grey Wolf, the captain of the Grey Wolf pirates. Please hand over the people from the Mariejois pirates immediately. Otherwise, Master Kaido will let you go if you don't. Grey Wolf's face was full of majesty. Grey Wolf. There is a kind of person in this world who is most likely to die. Do you know who he is? Levi said to the Grey Wolf below. While Grey Wolf was confused, Levi said leisurely. In this world, people without eyesight are the most likely to die. As soon as he finished speaking, a dazzling thunder light pointed at the Grey Wolf from his fingertips, and a bolt of thunder instantly arrived in front of the Grey Wolf. The aura was so powerful that the Grey Wolf could already smell the breath of death. A big hand appeared in front of the Grey Wolf, and the thunder hit his hand without any damage. It was Kaido who took action. No one can kill the people Lousy wants to protect. Kaido looked at Levi and said every word. What a coincidence. No one can protect the person Lousy wants to kill. Levi confronted Kaido. Their eyes collided, and an invisible spark appeared between their eyes. Are you provoking Lousy? Kaido suddenly laughed. If you think so, that's fine. Levi didn't give in at all. Look, Levi seems to be facing off against Kaido. The pirates who had started to retreat slowly stopped again. Mariejois was easily defeated by Kaido, which cast a shadow on their hearts. Levi, who now has a bounty of 2 billion, seems to be going to war with Kaido again, and they instantly become excited. Unlike Kaido, Levi's fame was completely formed in just 2 years, and his most amazing record was defeating marine hero Garp. Although they also knew that there was some water in it, it did not affect Levi's strength at all. Perona looked at Levi in front of her with tears in her eyes. Her pirate group had just been destroyed by Kaido. Kaido's power had left a deep mark on her heart. Now that Levi and Kaido are facing each other again, she is very worried. Don't worry. Boss Levi is very strong. Enel used observation hockey to hear what Perona was thinking, so he took the initiative to comfort her. Kaido doesn't care who his opponent is, he just wants to vent his desire to fight. Come and fight Lousy. Lousy wants to see if your 2 billion bounty is worthy of the name. Take care of Perona. Levi said to Enel and Tezzolo. Boss, we want to join the battle. Enel and Tezzolo stood in front of Levi. Since they followed Levi, their strength has grown by leaps and bounds, but they have never experienced a hardy battle. Now that Kaido is in front, they don't want to be behind Levi anymore. Brother Levi, let me take care of that little girl for you. Shank's voice came from below. Levi looked down and saw the red hair pirates returning. I'll excuse you, Shanks. I'll treat you to a drink another day. Levi said happily. The appearance of Shanks completely solved Levi's worries. After Perona arrived at the red-haired ship, the spaceship driven by Enel began to melt slowly. After that, All the gold on the spaceship gathered on Tezzolo's body, and a golden giant appeared in the sky. Boom! Tezzolo landed and stood with Levi and Enel, and then they looked at the Kaido pirates with fighting intent in their eyes. This is the second update. There are 4 more to come. The author is working hard on coding. Chapter 64 Battle with Kaido. Levi suddenly appeared in front of Kaido in a flash. Before Kaido could react, Levi grabbed the horn on his head and threw him away. Boom! Kaido's huge body hit the ground and stirred up a large amount of dust. The pirates who were watching were all in an uproar. They saw something. Levi knocked Kaido down and was thrown out by Levi as soon as they met. I said, no one can protect the people I want to kill. Levi came to the Grey Wolf and said to the Grey Wolf. The Grey Wolf looked into Levi's dark eyes. He felt like he was about to pee with fear. He just wanted to get on the 4 Emperors Kaido's boat by stepping on Moria. God knows how he could provoke an evil star like Levi. Don't even think about touching him. Jack pulled out his tusks and stabbed Levi in the head. I won't let you disturb our captain. A golden fist grabbed Jack's ivory, and Tezzolo took action. Jack transformed into a mammoth in an attempt to wrestle Tezzolo. Even though Jack turned into a mammoth, Tezzolo's hand holding Jack's tusks remained motionless. Okay, Grey Wolf, go die in peace. Levi said softly to Grey Wolf. The Grey Wolf was about to struggle when Levi punched him on the head. The Grey Wolf's brain suddenly burst and he could no longer die. Levi, you actually dared to fall in my face. Kaido didn't expect Levi to be so fast. He was immediately knocked unconscious by Levi. When he got up, he saw that the Grey Wolf had been beaten to death by Levi. Bloodshot blood suddenly spread in Kaido's eyeballs, and his aura suddenly became violent. Kaido's deep and hoarse voice sounded. Levi, you were able to knock Lousy down. Given your strength, Lousy decided to give you a happy one. Levi laughed wildly. Haha, come on, if you can do it. Cut in 2. Levi pulled out the 7-star sword, and the sword energy on the 7-star sword encouraged Levi to swing out his 40-meter sword with sword energy and swept across Kaido's waist. Kaido held maces in both hands to resist. The 7-star sword cut the mace in half with great force and slashed it directly on Kaido's body. The sword energy only produced sparks when it struck Kaido's body. Kaido's body was actually harder than gold and iron. It hurts so much. The skin is all broken. Kaido looked at the slightly broken skin on his waist and screamed to the sky. His voice was like a dragon's roar, with a faint coercion emanating from it. Levi had to issue Conqueror's Haki to compete with him. Levi found that although Kaido's body was very powerful, his speed seemed a bit slow, which was fine for ordinary masters, but for opponents of equal strength, this would be his fatal weakness. Nearly 100 Levis suddenly appeared on Kaido's body, and all Levis slashed at Kaido's body with their swords. This was Levi's weakness to target Kaido's slow movement speed. In an instant, as long as the speed was fast enough, the same person could be hit at the same time, shot hundreds of times. However, Kaido's body only continued to emit bursts of sparks, and Levi's attack had no effect other than making Kaido scream. Levi looked carefully at the huge Kaido in front of him. He couldn't help but feel a headache. This guy's body was too hard and had no weak points. He was indeed known as the strongest creature in the 3 realms. Levi put away the 7-star sword. To deal with such an enemy that could not break armor, using weapons would only slow him down, so he waited for Kaido to attack. At this moment, Levi has already used all the secrets of boxing in the battle with Garp. In this state, it can be said that a fly cannot be added, and a feather cannot be dropped. Theoretically speaking, Levi's physical strength at this moment should be no less than Kaido's. Kaido's huge fist hit Levi, and the huge wind pressure blew Levi's hair and clothes, but Levi still didn't dodge, and he actually blocked Kaido's fist directly. The moment he made contact with Kaido's fist, his feet made 2 deep footprints on the rocky ground. Finally, his back collapsed and he was buried in a building. Levi then blasted through the rock wall and walked out. Fortunately, he used armament Haki just now, otherwise the shoes under his feet would not be saved. Jack stared blankly at Levi walking out unharmed and couldn't help but said in shock, "This kid actually blocked the captain's full punch." Jack once received a full-force punch from Kaido, which punched him directly from the surface of the sea to the bottom of the sea. It took him nearly half a year to recover from the injury. Now he saw something. A Paramecia's demon fruit power actually caught it with his body. Kaido struck with all his strength. "I'm afraid there will be another bloody storm in this sea soon." Shanks looked further. A monster with the same strength as the 4 emperors and who was only in his early 20s was bound to compete for the throne of the 4 emperors. A battle that would affect the whole world. The turmoil of the world may be coming soon. Kaido watched Levi punch him forcefully and couldn't help but become more motivated. Interesting, this is the first time that Lousy has seen someone who is as strong as Lousy. Friends, this is the 3rd update today. If you think this book is good, please vote for some flowers and evaluation votes. Of course, monthly votes and rewards are the best. Your support is the author's greatest motivation, thanks to the author. Chapter 65 Marine's Big Plan. The two started a physical confrontation again. This was a Hollywood-style tough guy showdown. You punch me, and I punch you back. They are monsters whose bodies have been tempered to the ultimate level. They are like two destruction machines, crashing into mountains and rocks. Moria's big ship was penetrated by them, and seawater slowly seeped out. Small lakes appeared one after another on Moria's ship. I'm afraid it won't be long before Moria's big ship will sink. Levi, you were qualified to see Laozi in his strongest state. You will be proud after your death. Kaido's body slowly changed, and a huge dragon appeared in front of Levi. So exaggerated. He's so handsome that he has no friends, Levi murmured as he looked at the transformed Kaido. The dragon has always been an invincible existence in Levi's mind. It can be big or small, it can be hidden, it can soar into the clouds and ride in the mist in endless changes. Levi knew Kaido could transform into a dragon, but when he appeared in his dragon form, Levi was still amazed by his current state. Now a dragon appears in front of Levi, and it is also his enemy. It seems that I have come up with a trick. Levi stared at Kaido with all his attention. Kaido opened his mouth and breathed out. After a burst of dazzling light, a large hole like a dam spillway was left on the scene. The seawater is rising up along this big pit. Levi appeared out of thin air and punched Kaido between his eyebrows. Kaido was in pain and his figure immediately started to move quickly. Kaido's body moved very fast, his four claws and his dragon tail kept pulling towards Levi. After Kaido transformed, his speed has been greatly improved. Now Kaido has ultimate physique, excellent recovery power and ultimate strength. No wonder Kaido is called the strongest creature on land, sea, and air, and it is true. How Whitebeard defeated Kaido. Levi now feels a headache for Kaido. Immune to death again, but this guy is still very strong. Levi's fist left one punch mark after another on Kaido's body, but within a moment, the punch marks on Kaido's body slowly disappeared. When Levi and Kaido were fighting, Tezzolo and Jack also started fighting. Tezzolo turned into a golden giant and was wrestling with Jack. A half-meter deep pit had appeared under Jack's feet. No matter how hard Jack struggled, he couldn't escape Tezzolo's grasp. Brother Jack. The other Zone Demon Fruit Powers were shocked when they saw this, and they rushed towards Tezzolo with weapons in hand to relieve Jack's predicament. But before they could rush to Jack's side, a thick bolt of lightning made them twitch. In the blink of an eye, the zone ability user who rushed up was staggered by the electric shock. Don't act rashly. Enel's index finger flashed with lightning, and all Kaido's men were too frightened to move. Golden Divine Fire. Two rays of light suddenly appeared in Tezzolo's eyes. The rays of light hit Jack's back, and the smell of meat came, making Jack even more manic. Jack suddenly turned back into a human body. He pulled out his two tusks to form a strange knife and slashed at Tezzolo's body. Golden Industry Fire. Before Jack's knife could touch Tezzolo's body, Tezzolo's golden fist was burning with golden flames and knocked Jack away. Jack fell to the ground with burns all over his body and couldn't move. There was also the smell of barbecue coming from his body from time to time. If Jack hadn't had Zone Demon Fruit Power, he might have died long ago. Boom. Huge buildings were collapsed by Kaido's dragon tail or knocked down by Levi's punch. Levi was also furious. He must knock Kaido down today. While they were fighting fiercely, no one noticed that countless marine warships began to slowly surround them. There were so many marine warships that it was impossible to see them from a distance. How is the battle situation among the pirates now? Sengoku held a telescope in his hand, but the place was full of fog and the effect of the telescope was not good at all. The Moria pirates have been completely destroyed by Kaido, and now the Kaido pirates are fighting Levi and his gang. A sailor next to him reported. On the ship where Sengoku is currently, Garp, Kizaru, Suru, Zephyr, and Momosagi are all lined up behind him. Judging from their appearance, it was obvious that they were preparing for a battle. Okay, this is a rare opportunity for our marines. Except for Kaido of the Beasts, all the other pirates in the New World must be captured. This is a rare opportunity for us. Sengoku said to Garp and others. Sengoku is worthy of being the resourceful general among marines. After he received the news about the battle between Moria and Kaido, he was keenly aware that this was a rare opportunity, so Sengoku formulated this plan. This is the fourth update. Friends, there are two more updates. First of all, thanks to Kurumi Tokasaki and this friend at the beginning of 182 for his monthly ticket. The author is still working hard on coding. If you think this book is good, then please vote for flowers, evaluation votes, monthly votes, and rewards. Your support is the author's greatest motivation. Chapter 66 Marine takes action. Now, prepare to close the net. Sengoku's eyes flashed. All the warships fired thousands of cannons, and the cannonballs that blocked the sky instantly darkened the sky. The pirates were still watching the battle between Levi and Kaido with great interest, but they suddenly felt that the weather was wrong. When they looked up, I'm a fool. All the pirates began to curse in their hearts. There are cannonballs. Be careful to avoid them. Countless pirates screamed miserably. Moria's artillery array had opened their eyes just now, but compared with the scale of the current cannonballs, this was completely childish. Boom boom boom. The entire sea area of Changshi Island was instantly covered by artillery fire. Even the perennial fog here gradually dissipated due to the transpiration of artillery fire. Only then did the pirates see the faint sails in the distance. Marine, it's Marine here. The pirates suddenly shouted in panic. They were hunted by Marine all year round, but in the past, Marine only chased them with a few ships at most. They had never seen such a scale before. Looking at these ships from a distance makes people feel dizzy. There must be thousands of warships. Marine is really making a big deal this time. It seems like all the Marines in the Grand Line have been moved here. At this moment, Shanks not only showed no fear, but a rare fighting spirit appeared in his eyes. Levi's bounty has risen to 2 billion belly. As a trainee on the ship of the Pirate King, Shanks is also a proud and arrogant person. Otherwise, he would not have such a powerful conqueror's hockey, and he would not be able to conquer these Marines in front of him. Defeated, then his bounty would probably be on par with 4 emperors. When Shanks told his crew about his plan, his crew became excited. As Shanks' crew members, each of them has a personality that is very similar to Shanks's. Therefore, once Shanks' plan was proposed, they immediately became excited. It was approved by all the crew members. Ben Beckman even started to make plans, and a group of crew members started to add them enthusiastically, and the atmosphere on the entire ship was enthusiastic. These are all a bunch of lunatics. Perona complained crazily from the side. When Perona saw that Marine's encirclement and suppression fleet was so large, she was immediately frightened. Although Moria hardly lets Perona participate in the battle, Perona has grown up on a pirate ship since she was a child, and she also knows what a Marine fleet of this size means. Why is Marine here? Levi was still fighting Kaido, but when Marine showed up, they all sensed it. Seeing such a large Marine fleet, they looked at each other and gave up at the same time. No matter how fierce the battle between Levi and Kaido is, it is still a battle between pirates. Now that Marine is here, the nature is suddenly different. This is a confrontation between classes, so they can only leave this battle for later. Levi, Lousy admits that you have a problem. Come to New World to find Lousy. Lousy is waiting for you in New World. Kaido said loudly to Levi. After the previous battle, he had already acknowledged Levi's fighting power. Pirates, let's catch you. You have no chance to escape. Sengoku's ship slowly moved forward, and the pirates also saw the people on Sengoku's ship. This scale, what a joke. Has the entire naval headquarters been mobilized? The pirates were immediately frightened by Sengoku's configuration. There were 3 admiral-level combat powers, and 3 more were infinitely close to admiral-level combat powers. Currently, with 6 admiral-level combat powers, even 4 emperors could be taken directly. Sengoku, are you here to capture Lousy? Kaido's eyes widened and he shouted at the Marines on the opposite side. It's no wonder Kaido didn't think too much. A force of this level was here to encircle and suppress him. Kaido even suspected that even Moria's challenge to him was done by Marine. Kaido, you can leave. I won't stop you. After all, a monster like you can't kill you even if it catches you. It's also a headache for us. Not only can you leave, but you and your subordinates can leave, Sengoku said very simply. Kaido's eyes widened. You're not here to arrest Lousy on such a large scale. Are you looking down on Lousy? Kaido was immediately angry. He had been sailing across the sea for so many years, and this was the second time he had seen a Marine fleet of this size. The first time was when he was still in the Rocks Pirate, the battle where their captain Rocks fell. Rocks has always been Kaido's idol, and Kaido has always wanted to fight an almost epic war, but there was no chance. Now the opportunity finally came, but Sengoku told him that this was not prepared for him. How could Kaido not angry? Seeing that Kaido didn't leave, the other pirates breathed a sigh of relief. With Kaido supporting them, their chances of escaping were much greater. Today's 5th update, there is another update. Friends who also have flowers and review votes, please support me. The author really needs these things to boost morale. Chapter 67 The Pirates' Plan. Perona, come here. Levi shouted to Perona, who was in a daze on the Red Hair Pirates boat. Now that the war is over, Levi is now confident in protecting Perona's safety. Boss, the madman on that ship actually wants to destroy these Marines. As soon as Perona came to Levi's side, she couldn't wait to tell Levi. This little loli saw that Enel and Tetsulo both called Levi boss, so she also called Levi that way. Levi was stunned for a moment. Shanks is really courageous. The most feared thing about Marine is Buster Call. Buster Call was established by the Marine headquarters authorized by the world government to carry out indiscriminate destruction of areas that emit signals. This is what happened. The largest operation only consists of 5 vice admirals and 10 battleships. If necessary, 1 admiral will accompany them. Levi used observation hockey to roughly sense that 100 Marine warships had arrived. According to Marine's general configuration, there were 1,000 soldiers on each ship. This was a full 100,000 Marine army to encircle and suppress them. Kaido-sama, what should we do? Kaido-sama, we, the Black Bear Pirates, completely obey your instructions. Kaido-sama, we, when a group of pirates saw that Kaido was going to stay and participate in the war, they immediately found their backbone, and they all expressed their loyalty to Kaido. Plan. What plan do you want? Just rush in and fight, Kaido said smoothly, spreading his hands. The other pirates felt that they had countless words of greetings for Kaido's mother's well-being in their hearts, but they did not dare to say them. Levi saw all the pirates running around like headless flies, and he knew that these guys were all in disarray. Shanks, I heard you want to do something big? Levi went directly to Shanks. This was the future 4 emperors. He was powerful and courageous, far beyond what the loose sand outside could compare with. Yes, brother Levi, I just made a plan. Let Beckman tell you about it, Shanks said as he leaned back in his chair easily. Ben Beckman said with a serious face. Mr. Levi, we can't be intimidated by the scale of Marine. Let's break down Marine's power one by one. First of all, Marine now has Sengoku, Garp, Kizaru, Crane, Zephyr, and Momosagi. 6 strong men. The pirates outside are all frightened by this power. What if we tell them that we also have 6 strong men who are on par with them? Beckman looked at Levi's thoughtful eyes and continued his analysis. Kaido, you, and Shanks can compete with Sengoku, Garp, and Kizaru. I can compete with Commander Crane. Tesoro can compete with Zephyr, and Enel can compete with Momosagi. In this way, Marine's highest combat power advantage was offset, and we even exceeded it slightly. After Beckman's analysis, it seems that Marine just has the advantage of strength. Admiral Crane is one of the few resourceful people in Marine. There will definitely be someone to lead Marine's 100,000-strong army. This commander-in-chief can only be chosen between Sengoku and Vice Admiral Crane, based on Marine's nearly 40 years of battles. According to the analysis, Sengoku's wisdom mainly lies in grasping the overall situation, and Vice Admiral, a woman, has always been famous for her meticulous art of war. According to my estimation, there is a 90% chance that the commander-in-chief of Marine this time will be Vice Admiral. Beckman analyzed the entire war layer by layer for Levi in a clear and logical manner. Only then did Levi fully understand the pattern of the entire battlefield. Ben Beckman, you are such a scary man. Levi praised Beckman. The whole world knew that the red-haired swordsman of the Red Hair Pirates was unparalleled, and the sniper Usopp was unparalleled in the world, but no one knew that Beckman was the most terrifying. Beckman has been hiding behind the Red Hair Pirates, and no one knows how scary he is. There's another question. There are 100,000 Marines in the army right now, and the number of pirates we have here is less than 20,000. Marine doesn't know how many Vice Admirals there are. Can you handle it? Levi asked Beckman. Regarding Admiral-level combat power, Levi knew that Beckman's analysis was correct, but Crane Vice Admiral was not a freeloader. Faced with a gap of nearly 5 times, Levi still did not believe that Beckman could win Crane Vice Admiral. Once he came here, if it collapses, the battle between Levi and the others and Admiral will no longer be meaningful. Please rest assured, Mr. Levi, that all the pirate information on the entire sea with a bounty of more than 10 million belly is in my mind. What abilities and what are the pirates here today good at? We all know that this is called a confidant. And all Marines Rear Admiral level information is also in my mind. This is called knowing the enemy. Only by knowing oneself and the enemy can one be able to fight without danger. Beckman's eyes were full of confidence. I know Vice Admiral's personality and command style very clearly. The most important thing is that she knows nothing about me. This is the reason why I must win. How do you make up for the gap in troops? Levi asked curiously. As long as it doesn't exceed 20-1, we can win. Beckman's eyes were full of confidence. The 6th update today. It's evening. Friends who still have flowers and evaluation votes, please vote. Your support is the author's biggest motivation. Finally, please ask for flowers, evaluation votes, monthly votes, and rewards. Thank you, author. Chapter 68 Attacking Marine. Okay, then follow your plan. If it fails, everyone will follow my motto. My motto is nothing. Marine's siege will not work on me. Levi said to Shanks and others. Kaido has almost been driven crazy by these pirates who are forcing him to fight in front of him. He used to lead his men to rush in and start fighting. No one can kill him anyway. He can recruit as many of his men as they die. But now Marine has 6 Admiral-level combat capabilities. If these pirates don't block those Marines, Kaido will be in trouble. Hey, Kaido, if you don't want to command them to talk nonsense, I will command them. Levi's voice came from the side. Listen to him. If anyone dares not to listen, Laozi will be the first to kill him. Kaido's fierce aura made the pirates present tremble. So, all the captains of the pirate group were gathered together by Levi, and Beckman told the captains about his plan. These guys were easy to fool, and their blood boiled under Beckman's few words. So they were gearing up one by one to prepare for a war that would be recorded in history. Sengoku, there is still no movement from the pirates, let's attack. Garp became impatient when he saw that the pirates had not made any movement for a long time. Okay, Xiaohe, Marine is now under your command. Garp and I are going to fight. Sengoku made a prompt decision and taught the command of the war. You guys, I knew it. Crane Vice Admiral had an expected expression on his face. When they were young, their configuration was that Crane led the troops, and Sengoku, Garp, and Zephyr directly fought against the strongest pirates. Now they seem to be young again. Why do I suddenly feel young again? Zephyr put on his sunglasses and smiled. Garp, Sengoku, and Zephyr looked at each other and laughed. After that, the 5 of them came directly towards the pirates' camp. They are coming. Levi and others were shocked when they saw the arrival of Sengoku and others. They knew that a war was about to begin. Sengoku and Garp Laozi are locked up. If anyone dares to compete with Laozi, Laozi will kill him first, Kaido said to Levi and others. Boy Levi, we meet again. This time I will definitely send you to impel down. Garp couldn't help laughing when he saw Levi. Last time, because his soldiers were not effective, the whole world thought he was Levi's subordinate. Defeat. Today he will defeat Levi to wash away this shame. Garp, your opponent is lousy, Kaido shouted loudly. How scary. A wretched middle-aged man wearing a yellow and white striped suit with an unshaven look had an exaggerated expression. This man is Marine Admiral Kizaru, and his face is so recognizable. Kaido, lousy doesn't want to fight you. Garp and Kaido fought against Sengoku many times, and Kaido was captured by Marines several times, but this guy was too difficult to kill, and Garp also had a headache looking at him. It's not up to you. The mace in Kaido's hand was rolled towards Sengoku and Garp at the same time, and the three of them were fighting in a blink of an eye. Levi, I heard that you later also practiced swordsmanship. Sister, let's see how your swordsmanship is. Momosagi pointed at Levi with Jinbago in his hand. Momosagi girl, I can feel that this person is extremely powerful, I'd better deal with him. Zephyr stood in front of Momosagi. I've heard for a long time that Momosagi Vice Admiral is very good at swordsmanship and is one of the Admiral's substitutes. Shanks wants to compete with the lady today. I hope Momosagi Vice Admiral will give me Shanks a face. The griffin in Shanks's hand was unsheathed, and he held it in his hand. After making a sword flower, he pointed directly at Momosagi. That's it? The supreme sharp sword? Momosagi looked at the sword in Shanks' hand, and a look of surprise flashed in her eyes. I accept your challenge. The supreme sword should not be held by evil pirates. After that, Momosagi unsheathed her Kinbago, and she also stepped on Moonwalk to kill Shanks. Levi, have you ever experienced the feeling of being kicked by light? Kizaru asked Levi. Then Kizaru's body emitted a golden flash, and his body appeared in front of Levi. The light on his right foot flickered towards Levi's head. Boss, let me deal with this guy. In front of Levi, Enel's figure appeared out of thin air. At this moment, her feet were surrounded by lightning and Kizaru's legs were kicked together. Kaido's willful attack disrupted Beckman's plan, but overall it did not have much impact on the overall situation. Now Kaido is fighting against the two strong men Sengoku and Garp alone, and Enel is fighting against Kizaru. Kaido's pervert body can be called immortal. Levi's entire attention is on Enel. Although Enel is powerful in combat, it is still slightly insufficient compared to Marine Admiral Kizaru. Levi is waiting for Enel to be unable to hold on. When the time comes, prepare to rescue him directly. First of all, thanks to the friends starting with HJB for his reward and monthly ticket. Friends, there are a lot of updates today, because the book will be on the shelves at 8 o'clock tonight. I will post 7 updates before 6 o'clock to show everyone's support for me. Finally, please ask for a wave of flowers and evaluation votes. Chapter 69 Enel vs Kizaru. Lei Ying. Enel didn't say any nonsense when he appeared, and started a fight with Kizaru, but something happened that surprised Enel. The wretched old man just shot a golden flash from his finger to cancel out Enel's thunder. Levi reminded. Hey, Enel, this is Marine Admiral Kizaru. He belongs to the top group. His strength is about the same as mine. If you don't work hard, you will lose. 100 million volts, Thunderbeast heard. Enel struck the big drum behind him with the golden stick, and suddenly a flock of flying birds and a group of thunderwolves roared and rushed towards Kizaru. 8-foot Go Chongyu. Kizaru formed a seal with his hands, and a golden flash of light headed towards the group of thunderbeasts like a heavy rain. When the last thunderbeast was killed by the flash, Kizaru also withdrew his magical power. Levi looked at the situation on the field and thought, if this continues, Enel will lose. Kizaru's fighting experience is far more sophisticated than Enel's. Enel's moves may look powerful, but they are actually far inferior to Kizaru's golden flash of energy concentration. Lei Metallurgy. The end of the golden stick in Enel's hand slowly changed, and finally the golden stick turned into a huge golden naginata. Enel challenged Kizaru with his naginata. Tien Kong Yun Sword. Kizaru clasped his hands together, holding a ball of light in his right hand as if drawing a sword, and a golden shining sword appeared in his hand. Yada Mirror. The remaining flash of Kizaru's left hand shoots a ray of light around, and this golden ray of light continues to refract. Finally, a golden net was formed, covering Enel in the center. A bolt of lightning and a golden flash disappeared at the same time. No one could see them anymore, but the intensive sound of weapons clashing from the surrounding area told them that Enel and Kizaru were fighting at an extremely fast speed. The tinkling sound is like a passionate percussion that makes people's blood boil. Suddenly their figures broke through the clouds in the sky, and above the sky, a golden sun and thunder were constantly clashing. What a scary young man, I was almost killed, Kizaru said, wiping the non-existent sweat on his forehead. 20 million volts, Thor. A dazzling white light appeared from Enel's body, and a figure as majestic as the ancient thunder god stood in front of everyone. This power fluctuation, Kizaru said in surprise. Another being with admiral potential. You are also a pirate. It seems that I can't keep you today. Kizaru transformed into golden flashes of light and attacked Enel's body. The surface of Enel's huge body continued to explode, and the size of the god of thunder continued to shrink, finally revealing Enel's figure. After all, Enel was still not as good as Kizaru. With Kizaru's kick, Enel hit the big ship Moria, making a huge pit in the ship. Enel crawled out of the pit. He looked extremely miserable with bleeding from his mouth and nose, but Enel's eyes were surprisingly bright. Just as Kizaru was about to catch up and deliver a fatal blow to Enel, an emerald green slash struck at Kizaru diagonally. Kizaru had a premonition that if he was hit by this slash, he would be seriously injured. After such a delay, Levi came to Enel's side, and Kizaru no longer had the chance to make a move. I have seen the most peak strength in this world. In 2 years, at most 2 years, I can surpass you. Enel's eyes looked at Kizaru. His expression was full of excitement, and he gained a lot from the battle with Enel. Huge. Listening to Enel's words, Kizaru's murderous intention became more serious, but Levi was now in front of Enel, so he couldn't do it. Levi, let me be your opponent. Zephyr took off his sunglasses. Old man, you have old arms and legs, it's better for me to do it. Kizaru stood in front of Zephyr. Although Zephyr and Kizaru hate each other, Zephyr is also his teacher. Although he doesn't want to admit it, Kizaru knows that Zephyr is no match for Levi. Old man, let's have a fight. Tesoro took the initiative to find Zephyr. The old man is so despised. He is old after all. Zopha's body appeared strangely in front of Tesolo and punched Tesolo. Tesolo's expression did not change. The gold flowing under his feet condensed into a golden wall in front of him. This golden wall was right in front of Zephyr's fist, blocking Zephyr's attack. Is Devil Fruit capable? Young man, physical skills are the foundation, don't rely too much on the power of Devil Fruit. Armament Hockey appeared on Zephyr's fist, and as he swallowed his strength, Tesoro's golden wall shattered. When the golden wall shattered, Zephyr found that Tesolo had already put on a layer of golden armor all over his body. He smiled at Zephyr and said, Old man, I have been waiting for you for a long time. The second update today. The author is still working hard on coding. Please vote with flowers and evaluation votes. Today is the most important day. Thank you, author. Chapter 70 Battle with Kizaru. Levi, I heard Aokiji mention you. Kizaru said to Levi. After that, his expression seemed to be lost in memories. Pheasant said that if you don't die in the middle, within 10 years, there will definitely be a place for you in the 4 emperors. His vision has always been so vicious. It has only been 3 years since you have grown to such an extent. With your current growth rate, in 3 years at most, you will become the next 4 emperors. What a terrifying talent. Levi raised his eyebrows slightly. He didn't expect Aokiji to have such a high opinion of him 3 years ago. After all, he hadn't awakened Conqueror's Haki at that time, and his physical skills were also very rough. It was his first time fighting against Admiral. To be honest, Levi felt that Aokiji had definitely let go. According to Marine Admiral's ability, they refused to escape at all back then. Kizaru Admiral, have you tried 2 moves? Levi said to Kizaru. I don't care anymore. Kizaru looked like he was punching in and paying his salary. My subordinate lost to you. As the boss, I have to help him regain his position. Levi began to walk slowly towards Kizaru. It's really troubling. Kizaru spread his hands, and his whole body began to flash, and he was obviously ready to take action. Levi's whole body was surrounded by thunder and lightning, and he made snapping sounds from time to time. He looked very powerful. Levi took a step forward, and his figure suddenly disappeared. Then he appeared in front of Kizaru and kicked Kizaru. Why do you also have thunder? Do you also have Logia demon fruit power? Kizaru was really shocked. Devil fruit can only work on one host. This has been an iron rule for thousands of years, but the devil fruit on Levi can't see it. Exactly the same as Enel's. Guess. Levi's figure disappeared in front of Kizaru again. This time he appeared on the right side of Kizaru. When he kicked Kizaru with his foot, Kizaru's figure also disappeared and he appeared in front of Levi. He also kicked Levi from behind. Interesting, is this a pure speed competition? Levi understood what Kizaru meant. Kizaru's sparkling fruit is the fastest moving among all devil fruits. Today, when he meets Thunder Fruit, he will naturally compete with the other one. Although Kizaru seems not to care about anything, like clocking in for work, eating and waiting to die, Kizaru is a very proud person at heart. Speed is his strong point, and he will never allow anyone to surpass him in speed. So a scene like this appeared in the sky of Changshi Island. A silvery white thunder light and a golden light were constantly chasing in the sky. The moment the 2 figures kept colliding, countless sparks fell. Their collisions were like dragonflies touching water, but the frequency of their collisions was really too frequent. Countless sparks floated down the sky, looking very beautiful. Leahy, use your fog fruit to spread fog in the sea area around us. I guess a new round of bombardment from Marine is about to begin. Leo, use your speed fruit to help Leahy speed up. Beckman, the originally closed eyes suddenly opened. At the same time, a Marine captain reported to Vice Admiral He. Commander He, the parameters of the cannon have been adjusted and a new round of bombardment can begin. Full firepower, blow it up for me, don't be stingy with shells. Crane Vice Admiral's eyes were full of coldness. Crane Vice Admiral originally thought that the pirates on the opposite side could be eliminated with high-level combat power such as Sengoku alone. Unexpectedly, the high-level combat power of the pirates on the opposite side was not inferior at all. Sengoku did not expect that Shank's strength was also close. If you have reached the Admiral level, you may even have Admiral Jeeve level combat power. He didn't want to think too much. The top priority now was to defeat this group of pirates. Report to Crane Vice Admiral, because heavy fog has broken out in this sea area, our artillery fire does not have the conditions for precise strikes. The lookout on the bow of the ship reported to Crane. He frowned. When she came to this sea area, she had done some research on this sea area. The fog in this sea area would automatically dissipate at noon, but now the bright sun is rising in the sky and it is hard to see. Normal. Everyone has concentrated all the torpedoes on supplying the White brothers. Now only the two brothers' ship is a submarine. Marine's view is blocked, and their warship is about to attack. Beckman's voice was still very calm. All pirate ships are dispatched and proceed 2 kilometers directly to the 9 o'clock direction. After hearing the torpedo sound of the White brothers, you move forward and fire 3 consecutive rounds with all your artillery fire. One order after another came from Ben Beckman's mouth. The pirates prepared in an orderly manner according to Beckman's command. It was not that no one was slacking off, but when the big pirate with a bounty of 200 million had just raised objections to Beckman, he was shot in the head by Lucky Lou. Everything was as Beckman expected. When the Marine warship was about to arrive at the predetermined sea area, a torpedo silently attacked the Marine warship. First of all, I would like to thank two friends, 661 and 150, for their monthly votes. This is the third update today. There should be 7 or 8 more updates today, or 8 or 9. The author is working hard to code words, and I am asking for your flowers, evaluation votes, monthly votes, and thank you for your support. Chapter 71 Beckman, the incomparable strategist. This is definitely not a naturally formed fog. Because the field of view was blocked, the Marine's cannon could not locate the target, so they could only manually aim close to the waters of Changshi Island. Crane Vice Admiral felt it, and he found that these fogs actually had a serious interference effect on observation hockey. Notify the fleet outside to prevent the pirates from escaping, he said to the messenger. Their big boat moved forward slowly, and because of the heavy fog, none of them saw a periscope above the water that could clearly see their every move. Report to Commander Beckman, the Marine warships have arrived at the warning sea area, but their ships are too scattered and we cannot focus their fire, Brother Tay reported to the phone bug. Just open fire and evacuate immediately, Beckman said. The 2 torpedoes broke through the water silently, and with the sound of sparks, a large hole appeared in the hulls of the 2 Marine warships. I didn't expect these pirates to dare to take the initiative to attack. Crane Vice Admiral sensed the pirate attack. She remembered that one of the pirate groups had a submarine, but she subconsciously ignored it. 1,000 meters ahead, 120-degree artillery fire coverage. Following the order from Crane Vice Admiral, the cannon fire on the Marine warship was fired, and the sea area ahead suddenly turned into a sea of fire. Boom boom boom. With the shelling of the Marine warship, the pirates hiding in the dark knew the location of the Marine. They fired 3 salvos at the Marine warship. After that, they followed Beckman's order and retreated towards Changshi Island as a whole. When the cannonballs hit, there were already Rear Admiral level officers standing on the deck. The cannonballs that hit in the dark were aimed low, and very few of them actually landed on the ship. These were killed as soon as they almost landed on the ship. Rear Admiral level officer shot down. I found you. A smile appeared on Vice Admiral Crane's lips. She just used a little trick to trick these pirates out of their hiding place. Gunner, please back calculate the direction of the artillery strike just now. Once the coordinates are confirmed, fire 10 rounds straight away. After that, intensive artillery fire was carried out carpet bombing towards the place where the pirates were hiding. It was so dangerous, I almost died. The captains who returned were frightened when they saw the fire that kept rising into the sky, and at the same time they became even more convinced of Beckman. No, stop the bombardment. Crane Vice Admiral shouted sternly. She felt something was wrong, everything was too weird. She sent a scout to conduct reconnaissance, but the reconnaissance results made her expression change drastically. Crane Vice Admiral looked at the fog in front of her with complicated thoughts. She knew that there was an expert among the pirates opposite. Everyone, return home. Now that the enemy is in darkness and we are clear, there is no benefit in continuing to fight with the pirates. We can only withdraw from this fog first and consider the long term. Everyone, use the tactics of shark hunting and whale hunting and disperse the pursuit of Marine. Remember, stop chasing before the fog. Beckman ordered. Later, Vice Admiral Crane was constantly harassed by pirates when he retreated. From time to time, these guys would take a chance and shoot Marine. When Marine counterattacked, these guys disappeared without a trace. Finally out, all the Marines breathed a sigh of relief. They had been attacked by pirates just now. Although they did not suffer much damage, they felt a sense of panic due to the high mental tension. Look, what is that? Someone shouted, and then they saw nearly 100 pirate ships sailing out of the fog. The Marines looked along these ships and saw that most of these pirate ships were hidden in the fog, with only their ferocious pirate flags clearly visible. Long Fork Pirates, Grey Wolf Pirates, Black Bear Pirates. These pirates are all relatively active pirates. They have more or less fought against Marine, so they have all seen these pirates. The pirate flag of the group. Why are there so many pirate groups coming, and how did they get here? Crane Vice Admiral frowned. She couldn't figure out how these pirates came, as if they fell out of thin air. Retreat to the starting line one after another and consider the long term. Crane Vice Admiral took a deep look at the pirate group on the opposite side. Seeing Marine retreating, the pirates gradually disappeared into the heavy fog. Well done, Lena. All the captains gave a thumbs up to Lena. Rena is the captain of the Phantom Pirates. She is a user of the Paramecia Phantom Fruit. In normal battles, She mostly uses illusions to hide her traces. She never expected that her fruit can be used in this way. Today Beckman as she opened the door to the new world. Commander, what should we do now? Through today's performance, all the pirates are convinced of Beckman, and now they are more confident that they can survive. Friends, this is the 4th update today. The author is working hard on coding. If you think this book is good, please vote for flowers, evaluation votes, monthly votes and rewards. As the author is working hard to code, your support is my biggest motivation. Chapter 72 The End of the Battle. We have done everything we can do. Now let's wait for the highest level of combat power to win or lose. The winning factor in the war has never been us. Beckman said calmly with a cigarette in his mouth. This man had this look in his eyes that he had everything under control, as if what he had just defeated was just an ordinary cat or dog. After listening to Beckman's words, all the captains fell silent. As veterans who have been on the sea for many years, they also knew the truth. They all looked up at those devastating figures and begged. Sure, gotta win. You lose, Momosagi Vice Admiral. Shanks put the long sword in his hand on Momosagi's neck. At this moment, Momosagi's eyes were full of bitterness. She never thought that her dignified Vice Admiral candidate would allow me to become the Vice Admiral. Lost at the hands of a pirate, and this pirate didn't try his best. Your swordsmanship is not weaker than that of Hawkeye Mihawk, Momosagi said looking at Shanks with a sunny face in front of him. Although Shanks is smiling now, as if he is a big boy next door, as long as Momosagi knows how scary Shanks who just picked up the sword is. Shanks' eyes just now are extremely sharp, no less than the one who was looking for someone recently. The great swordsman Hawkeye competes in swordsmanship. Hawkeye once had a sword duel with her, and she was defeated by Hawkeye's sword in just 3 moves. According to her estimation, Shanks' aura now feels as good as Hawkeye's. Do you also know that guy? He is my friend. He is very strong. I have never defeated him, and of course he has not defeated me. Shanks mentioned Hawkeye with memories. It was obvious that he and Hawkeye had an unusual friendship. The battle between Levi and Kizaru is in full swing. When Levi used to watch anime, he remembered that Kizaru was looked down upon by Zephyr because of his over-reliance on the power of the fruit. However, after a competition, Levi discovered that Kizaru's body had already been tempered like fine steel. Kizaru followed the same path as Levi, using the fruit's ability to temper his body. Because Kizaru has a vulgar face and Kizaru's lazy personality, he has always been despised by everyone. Now Levi knows that Kizaru's strength is truly unfathomable. Kizaru's application of sparkling fruit has already reached its peak. In his hands, sparkling fruit has been developed to an impeccable level, whether it is melee combat or long-range attack, whether it is individual combat or group combat, whether it is movement or defense. The point. Old man, you can't do it anymore. The boss said that boxing is afraid of young people. Although you use rich fighting skills to reduce your physical consumption, this is not the answer after all. At this moment, Tetsulo was like a god made of gold. His whole body was shining with gold, and Zephyr's blow could leave scratches on his golden body, but after the golden divine fire, Tezuro's golden divine body returned to its original state. Golden divine treasure. Tezulo let out a loud roar, and then the gold on the ground continued to gather towards Tezulo like a river. After that, weapons completely made of gold condensed and formed on the golden river, including swords, guns, swords, halberds, axes, hooks and forks, and then all the golden weapons continued to shoot towards Zephyr. Zephyr's whole body was covered with dark armament haki. Although he knocked away all the incoming weapons, Tezuro's weapons were coming in an endless stream. Soon Zephyr couldn't hold on anymore and his breathing became very heavy. Big beads of sweat continued to fall down his forehead, and then his body was pierced by several golden weapons. Ah! Damn it, if I were 10 years younger, I would never lose. Zeta lay on the ground and kept roaring. Farewell, Zephyr, Tezulo whispered. Then golden weapons formed behind him, and with sharp whistling sounds, these weapons flew towards Zephyr. A golden flash appeared in front of Zephyr, and then golden starlight flew out of his body. These starlights exploded when they hit Tezuro's golden weapons. It's so embarrassing, Teacher Zephyr. Kizaru's wretched face appeared in front of Zephyr. Are you here to laugh at me, Perusalino? Zephyr's body was covered in blood. You are still so unyielding, Teacher Zephyr. Kizaru helped Zephyr up. At this moment, only Kaido is left on the battlefield, still fighting Sengoku and Garp. It has to be said that although Kaido is said to have no brains, his physique is really unparalleled in the world. Sengoku had already transformed into the giant Buddha state and still could not subdue Kaido. The 3 of them kept fighting on the sea. Waves nearly 100 meters high were stirred up in the sea. Changshi Island had been beaten by them and disappeared, but into the air did not affect their battle at all. Brumuru, Burabru. Kizaru's phone suddenly rang. Kizaru's face changed slightly when he answered it, and then he shouted to Sengoku, Marshal, retreat, there is an emergency. Sengoku forced Kaido back with a shockwave. Kizaru appeared next to Sengoku and whispered a few words to him. Then Sengoku said to Garp, retreat. Marine was gone in the blink of an eye, leaving only the pirates in a carnival. Friends, today is the 5th update. The author is working hard on coding. If you think this book is good, please vote for flowers, evaluation votes, monthly votes and rewards. As the author is working hard to code, your support is my biggest motivation. Chapter 73 Banquet Carnival. We survived. We really survived. All the pirates rejoiced. Kaido kept roaring at Sengoku and Garp in the distance. Two cowards, they ran away less than halfway through the battle with Laozi. Chase me. So Kaido sat on his flagship and ordered his men to chase Marine. The two sides chased farther and farther, and in the blink of an eye they disappeared into the sea. Today we are all teammates fighting side by side, and today's victory is the result of our joint efforts, Levi said to the surviving pirates while holding a wine glass. After that, everyone raised their glasses and drank it all. Pirates are a group of very strange people. Just like the banquet held by Levi now, many people have blood feuds with each other. They can drink as much as they want tonight. Yan Huan, but after this banquet, they will not be merciful when attacking each other. Drink. The pirates took out all the good wine they had collected. Wines from all over the world have their own characteristics. Although chefs are not the standard for every pirate group, there are many chefs among so many pirate groups. Dishes with different characteristics were brought to the table one after another, and everyone drank wine with different styles together. Tesoro used the power of his golden fruit to build a high platform of pure gold, and then he slowly walked towards the high platform holding a golden microphone. Tesoro snapped his fingers, and then the golden musical instrument he made automatically sounded without wind, and the melodious melody sounded. It was Binks's wine, that the pirates were all familiar with, and they immediately sang loudly along with the melody. Yo ho 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 yo ho 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 ho. Yo ho 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 yo ho 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 ho. Guests are served fine wine and face the wind, rain and huge waves. My favorite flag is flying under the clear sky looking at the distant scene together, I long for it. Birds circle in the sky chasing the sunset leaving the familiar port, I miss my hometown the most. How unforgettable it was to sing a melodious song together as a child. The frail body is filled with dreams, the majestic man lets me wander around the world. Binks drinks and toasts with friends by his side, there are you and me on the sea chasing hope. The waves accompany me to sleep. The boat is my home and my safe haven. The skull flag blowing in the wind brings me strength. Open a new chapter of the era for our respective dreams. The sound of beating drums spreads to every place in the sky and sea. No matter how big the storm is, move forward bravely without hesitation. This is how a man should live a wonderful life. Yo ho 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 ho. Yo ho 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 yo ho 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 ho. Yo ho 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 ho. A midnight show with Binks's fine wine. Drunk and dreaming about past times always stay by my side like the bright moonlight. Spreading on the sea is another beautiful night. Binks's wine toast and the music plays again. Put aside all the songs of the sea and sing together. The journey is long, so are the difficulties, so are the setbacks. We have wine and we have friends partying until dawn. Yo ho 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 yo ho 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 ho. Yo ho 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 ho. This is a magical piece of music. Although its melody is very simple, it is widely sung. Almost all pirates can sing this song. This song, Binks's Wine, is really a pirate song. As this music played, the entire banquet fell into a carnival. This was the largest banquet that Levi had ever attended, and it was also the largest banquet that these pirates had ever attended. After all, dozens of pirate groups with nearly 20,000 pirates fighting for the same goal are unprecedented in the history of pirates. Their strength may be different, but they are equal at this moment. A captain of a pirate group who is in charge of a ship is toasting with an ordinary sailor, and two complete strangers are talking and laughing loudly. This is the charm of pirates. Levi fully felt this spirit at this moment. The pirates sang, danced, cried, and laughed. During the banquet, everything was allowed to be unrestrained, and it was not allowed. Someone is laughing at you. Everyone, cheers to our collective bounty increase of 100 million. Shanks blushed and looked drunk. Cheers. Everyone was completely drunk. As time went by, more and more pirates fell to the ground, until finally only Levi was left. Brother Levi, what are your plans next? Shanks asked Levi. I don't know, just take it one step at a time, whatever, Levi replied casually. Shanks glanced at Levi and said with a smile. I don't know why, I always feel that you are different from us. Although you are doing pirate work, you don't have a pirate flag now, and I haven't seen you recruiting crew members. Who said that to be a pirate, you must have a pirate flag? Levi interrupted Shanks directly. Yeah. Why do you have to have a pirate flag to be a pirate? Shanks laughed. To these words, cheers, Levi and Shanks drank again. Friends, this is the 6th update today. The author found this section of Binks's Wine after searching a lot of information. I didn't want to delete it, so I put it all up. Friends, I once again beg for a wave of flowers, evaluation votes, rewards and monthly passes. As the author is working hard to code, your support is my biggest motivation. Chapter 74 Goodbye Moria. By the time the party ended, it was already dawn, and Levi and the others drank all the wine. When Levi first boarded the ship, he felt a stranger's scent in Perona's room, and Levi immediately woke up from his drink. So it's you, Moria? Levi was surprised. Levi originally thought that Moria had left the sea to escape Kaido's pursuit, but he didn't expect that he hadn't left yet. I didn't expect you to have the strength to fight Kaido. Moria's face was full of bitterness. At this moment, he lay gently next to the sleeping Perona and watched carefully, as if he wanted to engrave Perona's appearance in his mind. Let's go out and talk. Levi led the way, and the two of them came to the deck outside. What are your plans for the future? Levi asked. Of course we are recruiting crew members to conquer Kaido again. Moria's eyes were full of determination. My life was exchanged for the lives of all the members of the Moria pirates. Our goal has not been achieved yet, so I will go all out to achieve it. Moria clenched her fists tightly. Levi looked at Moria in front of him, and he couldn't help but sigh secretly in his heart. Moria's mind was now full of hatred. He hated Kaido for destroying the Moria pirates. He also hated himself for being weak. What about Perona? Levi asked the question to Moria. Originally, Moria challenged Kaido with the determination to die. He didn't know that he could survive. Now that he is back, Perona should have a place to belong to. Moria hesitated for a moment and said, Let Perona follow you. My heart is full of hatred now, and I can only spend the rest of my days in darkness. This is my hatred, and I shouldn't bring her in. Then does the 1/10 of the territory you mentioned still count? Levi asked. Moria was stunned for a moment and said, Of course it counts. Moria and Levi laughed at the same time, and Moria burst into tears and snot from her laughter. I'm leaving, remember to take care of Perona. After saying this, Moria turned into a bat and disappeared, leaving only Levi's sigh on the entire ship. Boss, where should we go next? Enel asked. Now the Golden Lion has floated to the front half of the Grand Line to replenish the ferocious beasts. And even their golden ship is still on the island. Go to the Fishmen Island. I'm going to pay homage to an old friend, Levi said to Enel. Ever since he took the three Hancock sisters and separated from Tiger in the Sabaody archipelago, Tiger has been escorting Koala back to his hometown. After completing the escort, they were tipped off by local residents and the Sun Pirates learned of the surprise attack by Marine who had already been ambushing here. On the island, Tiger was also attacked by Marine Rear Admiral Santo Berry's troops. Fisher Tiger was seriously injured in the battle. He hated human blood and refused a blood transfusion. Fisher Tiger died of excessive blood loss. This is how a generation of Murloc leaders ended their lives. Levi once warned Tiger to be wary of human informants, but he underestimated human greed, and eventually he lost his life because of his carelessness. Speaking of which, Levi was also responsible for Grid's death. If he hadn't killed the celestial dragons, Aokiji wouldn't have chased him, and Tiger wouldn't have been injured. With Tiger's strength, the Rear Admiral was no match for him, but it was useless to say this now. Levi still wanted to pay homage to Tiger. After all, Tiger was his first friend. Since their ship was empty, they crossed the Red Line directly to the Sabaody archipelago. Thanks to Rayleigh, Levi and others coded the boat without queuing up, so they started diving towards the Fishmen Island. The Fishmen Island is now protected by Whitebeard. With this protective umbrella, there are significantly fewer pirate ships coming to the Fishmen Island to capture slaves. After all, Whitebeard's anger is no joke. Levi and others were safe along the way, except for this little girl from Perona who kept yelling and yelling as if she had never seen the world. Levi had Jinbei's contact information, and he had already contacted Jinbei when he dived from the Sabaody archipelago, so he saw a fat blue man's figure as soon as he arrived at the port of the Fishmen Island. Mr. Levi, please come this way. Jinbei led Levi towards a remote place, and finally they came to a coral forest. This is the tomb of Brother Taij. Jinbei looked at Tiger's photo, and the corners of his eyes became moist. Since Tiger died, he seemed to have become the boss of Fishman Street. Normally Jinbei looks confident, but only here does he show his weakness. Levi also looked at Tiger's photo quietly. Originally, he had a lot to say to Tiger, but when it came to his mouth, he felt it was too pretentious, so he and Jinbei left the place after Tiger toasted him with a glass of wine. Today's 7th update. The author is still working hard on coding. The book will be on the shelves at 8 o'clock tonight. Please support me. The author finally asks for a wave of flowers, evaluation votes, rewards, and monthly votes. The author begs you on your knees, thank you. Chapter 74 Goodbye Moria. By the time the party ended, it was already dawn, and Levi and the others drank all the wine. When Levi first boarded the ship, he felt a stranger's scent in Perona's room, and Levi immediately woke up from his drink. So it's you, Moria? Levi was surprised. Levi originally thought that Moria had left the sea to escape Kaido's pursuit, but he didn't expect that he hadn't left yet. I didn't expect you to have the strength to fight Kaido. Moria's face was full of bitterness. At this moment, he lay gently next to the sleeping Perona and watched carefully, as if he wanted to engrave Perona's appearance in his mind. Let's go out and talk. Levi led the way, and the two of them came to the deck outside. What are your plans for the future? Levi asked. Of course we are recruiting crew members to conquer Kaido again. Moria's eyes were full of determination. My life was exchanged for the lives of all the members of the Moria pirates. Our goal has not been achieved yet, so I will go all out to achieve it. Moria clenched her fists tightly. Levi looked at Moria in front of him, and he couldn't help but sigh secretly in his heart. Moria's mind was now full of hatred. He hated Kaido for destroying the Moria pirates. He also hated himself for being weak. What about Perona? Levi asked the question to Moria. Originally, Moria challenged Kaido with the determination to die. He didn't know that he could survive. Now that he is back, Perona should have a place to belong to. Moria hesitated for a moment and said, "Let Perona follow you. My heart is full of hatred now, and I can only spend the rest of my days in darkness. This is my hatred, and I shouldn't bring her in." "Then does the 1/10 of the territory you mentioned still count?" Levi asked. Moria was stunned for a moment and said, "Of course it counts." Moria and Levi laughed at the same time, and Moria burst into tears and snot from her laughter. "I'm leaving. Remember to take care of Perona." After saying this, Moria turned into a bat and disappeared, leaving only Levi's sigh on the entire ship. "Boss, where should we go next?" Enel asked. Now the Golden Lion has floated to the front half of the Grand Line to replenish the ferocious beasts. And even their golden ship is still on the island. "Go to the Fishmen Island. I'm going to pay homage to an old friend," Levi said to Enel. Ever since he took the 3 Hancock sisters and separated from Tiger in the Saboti archipelago, Tiger has been escorting Koala back to his hometown. After completing the escort, they were tipped off by local residents and the Sun Pirates learned of the surprise attack by Marine who had already been ambushing here. On the island, Tiger was also attacked by Marine Rear Admiral Santo Berry's troops. Fisher Tiger was seriously injured in the battle. He hated human blood and refused a blood transfusion. Fisher Tiger died of excessive blood loss. This is how a generation of Murloc leaders ended their lives. Levi once warned Tiger to be wary of human informants, but he underestimated human greed, and eventually he lost his life because of his carelessness. Speaking of which, Levi was also responsible for Grid's death. If he hadn't killed the celestial dragons, Aokiji wouldn't have chased him, and Tiger wouldn't have been injured. With Tiger's strength, the Rear Admiral was no match for him, but it was useless to say this now. Levi still wanted to pay homage to Tiger. After all, Tiger was his first friend. Since their ship was empty, they crossed the Red Line directly to the Saboti archipelago. Thanks to Rayleigh, Levi and others coded the boat without queuing up, so they started diving towards the Fishmen Island. The Fishmen Island is now protected by Whitebeard. With this protective umbrella, there are significantly fewer pirate ships coming to the Fishmen Island to capture slaves. After all, Whitebeard's anger is no joke. Levi and others were safe along the way, except for this little girl from Perona who kept yelling and yelling as if she had never seen the world. Levi had Jinbei's contact information, and he had already contacted Jinbei when he dived from the Saboti archipelago, so he saw a fat blue man's figure as soon as he arrived at the port of the Fishmen Island. "Mr. Levi, please come this way." Jinbei led Levi towards a remote place, and finally they came to a coral forest. "This is the tomb of Brother Taij." Jinbei looked at Tiger's photo, and the corners of his eyes became moist. Since Tiger died, he seemed to have become the boss of Fishman Street. Normally Jinbei looks confident, but only here does he show his weakness. Levi also looked at Tiger's photo quietly. Originally, he had a lot to say to Tiger, but when it came to his mouth, he felt it was too pretentious, so he and Jinbei left the place after Tiger toasted him with a glass of wine. Today's 7th update. The author is still working hard on coding. The book will be on the shelves at 8 o'clock tonight. Please support me. The author finally asks for a wave of flowers, evaluation votes, rewards, and monthly votes. The author begs you on your knees, thank you. Chapter 75. The Fearful Odahime, please order first. The Fishmen Island, Backstreet. This is a gathering place for fishmen. When every fishman sees Jinbei, they will respectfully call out, "Brother Jinbei," and Jinbei will nod to them with a serious look on his face. "Mr. Levi, sit over here." Jinbei sat in a quiet room with a serious face and made a cup of tea for Levi and others. Now Jinbei has lost the youthfulness of the past, and his every move is very elegant. Today is the day when Princess Odahime of the Fishmen Island gives a speech, so all of us fishmen went to see her speech. "Please forgive me for the poor reception," Jinbei said to Levi. "It doesn't matter, it seems that your princess of the Fishmen Island is very loved by the residents of the Fishmen Island," Levi sighed. Seeing Levi praising their princess, Jinbei immediately looked proud. He said with admiration, "Yes, our princess is a truly loving person. She thinks the same as Brother Tiger. She advocates the peaceful coexistence of fish and fish. In order to get closer to and understand humans, she also launched a signing campaign for the entire the Fishmen Island to move to land, and she is preparing to express her appeal for moving to land at the World Summit." Jinbei took a sip of tea and continued. Princess Odahime also personally set an example for the fishmen. In addition to leading soldiers to rescue the people on the ship, she also personally taught the children of the Fishmen Island about land knowledge. Just in the previous paragraph at that time, one of the celestial dragons in distress was influenced by her. He is really an amazing person. Levi also expressed deep praise for this kind of person, but he would not use this method. Princess Odahime is a born saint. She tries to influence people's hearts with love, but little did she know that the human heart is the most fickle thing. Levi's heart suddenly shook. "Jinbei, what year is this year?" See Circle Calendar 1510. What happened? Jinbei replied with a confused look on his face. See circle calendar 1510? Isn't this the year that Princess Odahime died? Levi said to Jinbei. I also admire Princess Odahime very much. I wonder if I can go and listen to the princess's speech. Of course. So Jinbei took Levi and walked towards the square of the Fishmen Island. As soon as Levi arrived at the square, he saw among the crowds of fishmen, there was a man with long wavy golden hair, blue eyes, orange hair accessories, and a long robe with a fish scale pattern. Levi remembered that Princess Odahime was born with observation haki. She could hear the thoughts in other people's minds, so she often used this ability to give speeches with great success. Now Princess Odahime is giving a tearful speech. 1,000 years ago, the human sage Joibo and our Murloc princess Poseidon jointly made a commitment to the peaceful coexistence of humans and Murlocs. Today we are gathering in front of her statue. However, today, 1,000 years later, we still do not have the equality we want. My people, I want to say to you, at this moment, I still have a dream. I dream that one day, the children of the fish people can run freely under the sun, and our people will live in a world where they will not be judged by their race. At that time, we can work together, fight together, explore together, live together, and safeguard freedom from day to day. I dream that one day, on the red line, the Murlocs and the humans will have a drink and talk about the love of brotherhood. I dream that one day, the Murlocs, giants, and fur tribes will all be able to avoid the strange eyes of the humans. Odahime's speech made Levi feel a little excited, but this is an ideal after all. The original fishmen were silent, but they didn't know who started it. Suddenly the entire fishmen shouted to Odahime. Return our signatures, we will not believe the despicable human race. Yes, they were the ones who killed Tiger Dagao. All the fishmen became very excited, and they began to rush forward. Jinbei was shocked and said, hurry and protect the princess. The fishmen's guards built a human wall in front of Odahime, but in front of the surging fishmen, this human wall was in danger and seemed to be broken through soon. Levi's eyes were sharp, and his conqueror's haki was released along the Murlocs. The Murlocs began to fall in pieces. In the blink of an eye, everyone except the princess and her guards. The rest of the fishmen fell down. Mr. Levi, thank you very much. Jinbei bowed deeply to Levi. Both parties were fishmen, and he could not take action on either side. Levi's conqueror's haki solved a big trouble for him. Thank you very much, Mr. Levi. Odahime also ran over and said to Levi, but when she saw Levi, her pupils tightened and there was fear in her eyes. Please give me flowers. What's the problem, Princess Odahime? Levi asked curiously. This idea of yours is very dangerous. It will make this world a river of blood and countless lives will die. Odahime said to Levi. Have you seen my heart? Levi also became very surprised. Would he also observe haki, but he did not feel Princess Odahime's prying eyes at all. Mr. Levi, stop your thoughts. You are far more dangerous than the leader of the Revolutionary Army, Dorag. Odahime's eyes were full of sincerity. Once Levi's idea is implemented, it will have immeasurable consequences in the entire world, of casualties. 0.0 Levi couldn't help but laugh. His plan was originally planned to be implemented after the Golden Lion caused trouble in Marineford. Unexpectedly, Princess Odahime saw it today. Odahime, now that you have seen my plan, don't you feel that this is the most thorough way to solve the problem? Levi asked Odahime. No, we can influence everyone with love. As long as everyone is influenced, we will also get true peace. Odahime still insisted on her point of view. Don't be naive. Will the celestial dragons give up their status? Will the corrupt royal families in various countries give up their interests? They have long since become black-hearted, or even have no heart. Levi sneered at Princess Odahime's words. Mr. Levi, I thank you for doing this for me, but you are too dangerous. You are not welcome on the Fishmen Island. Please leave. At this time, the weak Odahime's attitude was surprisingly firm. Okay, without further ado, leave, Levi said to Princess Odahime. Jinbei, be careful of the mole. Sometimes the same race is much more hateful than the alien race. Levi warned Jinbei. Although Princess Odahime is very irritating, Levi also admires her mind. If Jinbei can understand what he said, maybe Princess Odahime can survive. If not, then let's follow the trajectory of history. Princess, why are you so afraid of this person? Jinbei asked doubtfully. At this time, Odahime was still trembling. The Revolutionary Army just wants to overthrow the Celestial Dragons, and he wants to subvert the entire world, Otto.